Hello. Meowdy. Happy Friday. Yeah. I forgot what day of the week it is, but it's Friday. It's Umineko Friday. Hello. Welcome in. Hello, monthly bleeder. Congrats on first. Hello, Panis. Hello, Rising. Hello, Costco. Also, thank you for the prime. I appreciate it. Hello, Kaz. Hi. Hello, Austin. Welcome in. Hello. Hi. Love. I don't know if you go by like a different name or just Love. Hi. Hope you're doing good today. Oh, I'm so tired today. I slept 8 hours or something like that. Somewhere around 8 to 9, 7 hours, 7 to 9 hours maybe. And I'm still tired. I even drank some coffee, but I don't think there's anything that'll help me. I'm so tired. I don't know why. Oh, I think I left my Switch on. The only thing I've been doing is playing Pokopia. I've been playing Pokopia any chance that I get. I need to turn off the Switch. And it's kind of addicting. I don't know what to say. I know that I said that I wouldn't play anything other than 100 line until I'm done with 100 line, but I think Pokopia has unfortunately put me in prison. I can't escape it. It is what it is. So I'm still using my old phone to stream today. But I did set up my actually I should probably charge it. My main phone that I can't charge because I don't have a charging cable. This is lovely. I did set it up for streaming, so if my streaming phone dies, I guess I just switch over and hope for the best. We'll see. It got really hot in a short period of time too, so I don't think that'll solve the issue, I think. But we'll see. Maybe I just need to replace the battery in my old phone. And hope that it's better, because like the battery health is like 77% and that's not too good, I don't think. I'll have to figure out how the multiplayer island in Pokopia works. I think I found it. I think it's like the pallet town thing where you can go and then you can like have people over and you can do whatever you want technically. I think that's it. I went there today by accident because I wanted to look for something else, so... Yeah, Pokopia is really good, though I am overwhelmed with the amount of things to do in each area. I've already unlocked 3 areas so far, and there's too much to do. I barely played anything at all in those 3 areas, but it's so much. I'm feeling a little bit overwhelmed, if I'm honest. I think Pokopia sounds like a good palette cleanser between 100 line sessions. Yeah, I haven't started anything else after I did the ending that I did recently, 001, and I don't know, maybe I need a little break. I did kind of grind the 20 endings that I currently have. 24 I have now in total, but when I started grinding, I had like 3 maybe. So yeah, maybe I just need a little break, Pokopia break, where I play 2,000 hours of Pokopia and then I get back to 100 line. We'll see. Hello, Noel. Hello, Flufo. Welcome in, both of you. Also, hello, Trace. Hello, Nu. Welcome in. No, I'm okay. I don't have my streaming phone plugged in right now. I'll just take breaks, like I usually do when I play Umineko, and then I'll charge the phone in between, and we'll see. Maybe it won't overheat that way. Well, I'll just have to find out. I don't think I've been there yet. Yeah, it's like the super long bridge that you can find in the place where you find that... What was his name? Onyx? The rock Pokemon? The huge rock snail that whose hitbox is like way too fucking big? Yeah, that one. Hello, Blood. Hi. I hope you were able to recover well, Nu, from Dokumi. You should check Nu out. They did some really cool cosplays. I think they even like shared their cosplay pictures on Twitter. Not to expose them right now, but they look really cool. Their cosplays were really nice. They're also an artist and a streamer. They're very cool. Hello, Fita. Hi. Welcome in. Yeah, I was very excited for Umineko today. I've been thinking about Umineko the entire time. when I'm not thinking about 100 Line or Pokopia, I'm thinking about Umineko. And I don't know, I saw like a lot of Umineko art on Twitter and I was like, let's go. I want to play Umineko. I want to keep reading, and here we go. I've been watching Umineko stream properly since part 2. If I'm here, will I get spoiled, or does it work if I request a TLDR? Glorp. If I'm here, will I get it spoiled, or does it work? But did you read the entirety of Umineko, right? I'm not gonna spoil you, right? Yeah, you will get spoiled on like the things that happened on stream, yes. But I could give you a TLDR since part 2. I'm trying to think what happened in part 2. Not that much. I guess the most important stuff was that basically I still know nothing about Umineko. Oh, wait, I don't want to spoil you. Some crazy stuff happened. I don't want to spoil you on like the big twist. There was a really crazy twist and like stuff happened. Do you want me to tell you what happened? I could tell you, but I feel like it's really cool to experience it yourself. No, you should read it. You should read Umineko. It's so good. Glorp. The yellow name. That was really funny. That interaction, it was in my brain. I'm torn apart. No! You should... I would rather not spoil you. I would say that either read it yourself or watch a gameplay video of it, or a read-through, I suppose. Not necessarily mine. It doesn't have to be mine, but any playthrough will do. And it's very nice. It's very good to experience it yourself. So I don't want to give you a TLDR because it's much better to just watch the shit happen in real time, you know? But I could give you one if you really wanted me to. Do everything at the same time now? Yeah. Maybe. Read it, watch the video, the stream, yeah, everything all at once. Everyone should read VNs. True, everyone should. I say that as I have not played that many visual novels, but everyone should. Everyone should. I still have to finish Steins Gate, 100 Line, obviously. I still have to finish like the extra Higurashi chapters that I haven't even played through yet. I played through one of them halfway. I think I'm almost done with that one, but oh, there's too much. There's too much. I saw the Mina the Hollower merch drop announcement on Fangamer, and I was like, damn, now I have to play that game too. It looks so good. Too many games. I need to stop making them. Just finished reading all of Ace Attorney, so I am doing my job. Good. I haven't even done that yet. I still need to do that, but I will. Who's your favorite 100 Line character? Eito Aotsuki, obviously. The love of my life. I love him. He's fantastic. And Takumi is pretty great too. They go hand in hand. I don't know. I feel like Takumi grew on me as a protagonist. I think he got better and better as time went on, but Eito is just, every time he says something, I just laugh. He's so funny. Reading is important, kids, but with weeb flavor. Exactly. Everyone needs a little bit of weeb in their food, and it's good. It's healthy for you. A little portion of weeb. Hello, Latai. Welcome in. Hope you're doing good today. Although, is it really weeb if you just like visual novels? It could also be Western visual novels, you know? Any visual novel is good. It really sounds like they put love into Mina the Hollower. I've heard nothing but good things about it. I look forward to playing it eventually. Someday. I heard that they were gonna do a physical Switch release, so then, at the latest. Ato the Goat! Yeah, he's awesome. Dadami is also nice. There's one specific route. I don't want to spoil it, but, you know. I'll just say... I'll say the Ditto route to not spoil the route name. The Ditto route. The purple glorpy thing route was what made me really love her. But she ends up dead in a lot of the routes that I've played, which makes it very unfortunate because you don't get a lot of time with her to get to know her very well. But she's really cool. Dadomi is really nice. Hello, Chi. Welcome in. Hope we're doing good today. Also, hello, Derek. Welcome in. Hope you're also doing good today. I have faith in the Shovel Knight devs. Yeah. I know which one you're talking about. That's one of my absolute favorite routes. It was really good. I was locked in. That one was super, super good. It was one of the first ones that I played, I think. If not my... I played Coming of Age, and then I played... the Ditto route. I think something like that. I don't remember the exact order anymore. But yeah, I haven't really done anything much. I've just been sleeping, playing Pokopia, streaming. That's it. I still haven't decided whether or not I should play stream my POV for the Kobe collab tomorrow. If you don't know, Kobe is gonna invite a couple of VTubers to stream a little Minecraft Among Us mod thing, and it's gonna be very fun. And I haven't decided if I'm gonna stream my POV because I don't know if anyone would care to watch me die over and over again and fail to understand what is happening in a Minecraft mod that I've never played before. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be spontaneous, maybe. But I'm leaning towards no because I'm scared. Hello, Amadis. Hi, welcome in. Winner's POV right here. I don't think so, man. I read through the different roles that you can get in that mod. It's kind of like... I guess the German people would know what I'm talking about, but it's kind of like Werwolf. Where you like get assigned a killer role or like a civilian role or like a more neutral role, and you have to fulfill that role's goals, and then you win the game, stuff like that. Yeah, or Town of Salem, that's the same thing, just different. Different name, different... It's kind of different. It's Among Us, but with more like different types of killers, I guess. Traitors, whatever you want to call it. There's many different classes, I guess you could also call it. Like there's a detective, there's a coroner, there's a judge, there's a person that can link two people together, stuff like that. Many different roles and many different like weapons, and you just have to kind of survive and fulfill your role's goal. That's it, basically, I think. But it's gonna be fun, I think. I'm gonna be overwhelmed. It's gonna be, I think, 14 people in total. I'm not sure. It's gonna be a little crazy. I haven't partaken in a collab that big before, but I think it'll be fun, probably. I just don't know if I'm gonna stream it or not. You will just see, or not, maybe. Who knows? Why did I talk about this? Why did I start talking about this? I forgot. Anyway, I guess we're playing Umineko. I don't know why I started talking about that. Oh, okay, no, it's working now. I broke this for some reason. I could not capture Umineko. It's still broken. I'm not sure what I did. I had to make a new source in OBS to get this working. I don't know what I did. This game is kind of finicky when it comes to capturing it, but it works now, I think. Oh yeah, wait, I have to do this thing. Right, hold on. Let me go invisible for a second. Here we go. I forgot that I don't want to block any of the characters. Okay. Oh, I guess we can take this out. And then I can start the game. Hello, Eviona. Welcome in. Hope you're doing good today. I'm trying to remember what happened last time. It's been some time. How long has it been? Has it been 2 weeks? Not quite. Well, 1.5 weeks to almost 2 weeks. I don't really remember. I'm gonna hope that Nu is not listening. I hope they plug their ears. But I do remember that people died. Basically, a lot of people died. Yeah. Every... Oh, no, Nu's still here! Don't look! Don't listen! Plug those ears! Hello, Klaus. Hello, Sledgehammer. Hope you're both doing good today. Which magic on the computer? I literally just finished watching part 7 VOD and decided to check out the Twitch channel. Let's go! Welcome in! It's time! It's time for part 8. Let's go! I actually have a question. Why is the UI so weird? I feel like the text box is unnecessarily massive. I don't know if you can still hear me, but there is an option to play it like... Oh god, was it this? To play it like this. Which kind of puts a little gray or like a darkness filter over the whole thing. And it just has the text display all over the screen. But then it doesn't say like the name of who is talking and stuff like that. So I kind of do prefer just having it as a text box because it's clearer who is talking. Oh, fuck. Okay, it does just skip the text. That's awesome. I didn't know. But yeah, you can play it either way. I just prefer it like this because it actually does say like the little name of the person talking. And it doesn't like darken the background or like go over the sprites and stuff like that. This is just like a more modern approach to it. The original would be just having the text over the characters and background. Interesting design choices have been made. Yeah, I do think I just prefer the text box, but it is very massive. I think very rarely do they use like the whole height of the text box, which makes me think, why make it this big if you could have just like halved it basically? But you know, it's okay. We'll work with it if we get the little text box name thing. That really helps me. Amogos. Yeah. I think... Oh, trying to remember. It's so hard. Yeah, they were thinking... Or they were talking about who might the culprit be and like whether or not, what was it, 16th person exists? I forgot how many people are here, technically. Or maybe it's more, I forgot. 19, maybe? I don't know. And, yeah, basically everyone died except for Ava in terms of like the siblings. So the suspicion naturally falls on her, but she's like, oh no, it could not be me, blah, blah, blah. But I do know, I'm aware that it could be me also. And, I think... Oh yeah, fucking Kinzo has gone missing. We don't know anything about what happened to him. Anything else interesting? Maria is acting weird as always. Anything else? Not really. Had a very sad Shannon died moment. And, I think, yeah, I said my prediction was that, you know, these two people are gonna be torn apart because, like, the little epitaph says, those who remain shall tear apart the two who are close. And in terms of who is close here, these two are the only ones that come to mind for me, really. But it could also be the old man Yaoi, Genji and Kinzo, I suppose. Genji and Kanon are also kind of close, but I feel like these are the two that come to mind immediately. Could also just be like relationship close, so these being mother and daughter are also kind of close in that regard, even though they aren't really. So it could be multiple things, but I think these two make the most sense since all the suspicion falls on her, and maybe he would, you know, cast some suspicion on his own wife too because she's kind of crazy. So we'll see. Also, hello Idom, welcome in. Maybe the full text box was used more with whatever stylized font is used for the Japanese characters. That is true. The Japanese font could just take up more space too. And that's why it's this size. But yeah, with the English text, it's not used to its full potential, usually. Anyway, I think they ate lunch. Apparently, I don't really remember. Also, they found like blood in the eating room, I don't know, in the room where they eat, the rich people room. That's about everything that I can remember in terms of like weird things that happened. Maybe I should like watch my own VOD before I play this so that I can remember. Anyway. Watara talked to Eva and Natsuki busted. Oh yeah, true! Oh my god, I forgot about that. That is true. They have a fucking gun now. Natsuki just has a, what was it, a rifle? A sawed-off rifle. And she looked really sick with it. It was a very good sprite. Yeah. Thank you for reminding me. Anyway, let me read the text that I so graciously skipped over. Lunch ended and the servants removed the tableware and went to the kitchen. And I also have to adjust the volume. I don't remember what I usually set it to, but we're going to set it to this. Oh. The wind and rain neither weakened nor strengthened, and the island remained cut off from the outside world. Oh yeah, the radio doesn't work, phone doesn't work, they don't have any way to communicate with the outside world, they're just kind of stuck here. At first it seemed as though Natsuki planned to stop anyone from taking a step outside the room, but when it came to prepare lunch, she finally realized this would be impossible. However, in order to avoid having anyone alone in the kitchen, she told the 3 servants to go together. Because of that, the servants were the first ones given the right to leave the stuffy parlor, which had been packed with 11 people. Since breakfast had immediately followed that terrible incident, preventing most of us from eating much, everyone tore into their lunches in silence.
私が洗いますから、源氏さんとカノン君は少し休んでいてくださいな。
I will wash the dishes so you can rest a while, Kanon-kun, Genji-san.
何か飲みます？
The only 3 left. Do you want something to drink?
私は結構。
I don't need anything.
カノンは？
Kanon?
僕も結構です。
I don't need anything either. I totally would have expected him to say, furniture doesn't need to drink anything after all. Like he usually does. Thank you, Kuma-sama, for not laughing at the recent events. Does she even like fully grasp the situation? She only saw the blood like in the room where they eat, but she hasn't really seen like the 6 corpses. Was it 6 people? Yeah, 6 chosen. So it is 17 people in total if there's 11 left, right? So yeah, I think. I'm pretty sure. Or is it 18? Oh god, I forgot the number. This is 8. This is 11. This is 14. It's 18. So it's a 19th person that they're questioning the existence of.
お二人とも早朝から大変だったでしょう？
You two must have been so busy and so early in the
参
morning.
ってしまうのも仕方ないことですよ。
It's no wonder you're worn out. The only noise was that of Kumasawa-san washing the dishes, which resounded throughout the kitchen. Genji and Kanon sat in the chairs a short distance away, their eyes lightly closed. Just as Kumasawa had said, those two had probably built up a great deal of fatigue, but that didn't mean they could let it show in front of the relatives. Avoiding that was one of their virtues. After the silence had continued for some time, Kanon opened his mouth and muttered,
シャナ、どうしてあんなひどい死に方を。
Shannon, why did she have to die in such a horrible way?
死に方のことは忘れなさい。
Well, technically everyone died in the same way, so no one really deserved it. Forget about the manner of her
た
death.
だ運がなかっただけだ。
It was nothing more than bad luck.
そうですね。
You're right.
ただ運がなかっただけです。
It was nothing more than bad luck. So they talk as if though they had already expected it, which just makes me think that they are the only ones who truly grasp that it's kind of connected to the epitaph, because everyone else doesn't really seem to understand that it has something to do with the little riddle that they're busy with. But they're like, oh, you know, it was bound to happen to someone, and she just got unlucky and got picked by the key, probably after Natsuhi hung up that little charm that protected her. They both fell silent once again. Kanon's expression was filled with grief.
シャノンちゃんが死んじゃったなんて
Do you think that Shannon-chan's actually dead?
未だに信じられませんよ
I still can't believe it.
本当にかわいそうに
Poor thing.
もう会えないなんて嘘みたいですよ
Not being able to see her again feels like a lie.
もう一度あの子の笑顔が見たかったのに
I just wanted to see her smiling face one more time. Kumasawa spoke with her back facing them. After all, Kumasawa hadn't seen Shannon's corpse, so she had no trouble mentioning Shannon's face. When Kanon heard those words, it reminded him again of how only half of Shannon's face had been left, and his grieving expression twisted even further. Yeah, maybe it's for the best that she didn't see the actual face that was left. I'm just saying I ain't crying for Godo. No one was. And no one really liked him. I mean, he's a good cook and everything, but he's kind of a rat.
どうしてベアトリーチェ様はシャノンを
Why did Beatrice-sama do that to Shannon?
生贄が欲しかったなら他にも大勢いただろうに
If she wanted a sacrifice, there were plenty of others to choose from.
どうしてどうして
Why? Why?
ただ運が悪かっただけだ。
It was nothing more than bad luck. I wonder... Everyone else was still, like, in the... wherever they were discussing this, like, in the dining hall, I think? Goda? I don't know. He was... I don't know why the fuck he got killed. And Shannon, too. But, like, theoretically, it would have made more sense to kill Eva and Hideyoshi instead of these two. And maybe Natsuhi? I don't know. Okay, I mean, that wouldn't make 6 anymore, so maybe that wouldn't have worked, but like, at least Eva. Like, you killed all of the other children. Might as well go for Eva too, you know? It's surprising that they went for Natsuhi instead, and then also Goda for some reason. I don't really understand the reason why they were chosen specifically. Kumasawa really cramping the stoic furniture vibe Kanon's trying to cultivate. Yeah, don't make him emotional. He can't have emotions. Maybe one of the Ushiромiyas will realize that Goda is dead while they're eating. Oh, and what happened to the one that makes the food? They don't even know his name. Just the cook.
少しの運がたがえばシャノンの代わりにあそこに横たわっていたのは私だったのかもしれないしお前だったのかもしれない。
Then bad luck. If we were less lucky, you or I might have been lying out there instead of Shannon.
あるいは他の誰かだったのかもしれない。
Or it could have been someone else entirely.
すべては運命だ。
Everything is left to fate. I mean, he saw like the blood and the prints on Natsuhi's door. He knows what's up.
源氏様、奥様の部屋の扉に
Mm-hmm.
血のような跡がついていたとおっしゃっていましたね。
Genji-sama, you said the door to Madame's room was stained with traces of something like blood, right?
シャッターに書かれていたのと同じもので
The same substance that was painted on the shutter?
うん。
Indeed.
君の悪い跡だった。
It was an unsettling mark.
まるで血のついた指でドアノブを引き抜こうとするかのような。
Almost as though someone with blood-stained fingers had been trying to pull out the doorknob.
いや、扉をかき破ろうとしたのか。
No. Scratch through the door.
そんな君の悪い跡だった。
That sort of unpleasant mark. It might not even have been someone trying to kill her. It could have been someone trying to get in and like ask her for help, which the most likely person would be Klaus, because, you know, he's her husband for better or for worse, but you know, it wouldn't make sense if he was like killed or like he was hit with something and then he was like, oh, help me, oh, wife, please.
ベアトリーチェ様が奥様の部屋を訪れて
So does this mean Beatrice-sama came to visit Madam's room
そして扉を開こうとしたけれど
and tried to open the door
開けなかった
but couldn't? I don't know if like the charm that she got from Jeshka is like a red herring. It could have absolutely nothing to do with like one of the witches, the witch, trying to get in. It could have just been like someone that was hurt trying to get in and like ask for help. Because like, why would there be scratches? Wouldn't you try to like open the door normally and not like scratch at the door? That doesn't really make any sense. I kind of hoped that it was Klaus, that he was suffering miserably on the floor in front of Natsuhi's room, dying, bleeding out. Screw him! Hello, Talo. Hi, welcome in. Was it a design or just general marking? I thought it was the same design for some reason. They just said that it was like scratches and stuff like that, so I don't think it was like any design of any sort. I thought it was more like someone just trying to like he said, like scratch their way through the door, which would signify some kind of like desperation, you know? You're on death's door and you're trying to get help, something like that, you know? Genji thought back to the time he had seen those traces of blood on the door to Natsuhi's room. With the substance sticking to the door around the doorknob and the marks of something scratching against the door, it had definitely appeared as though someone had tried to open the door but couldn't.
どうして
How
奥様は生贄を免れたんだ
did the madam avoid being chosen as a
もし
sacrifice?
奥様が選ばれてたなら
If only she'd been chosen,
シャノンは
Shannon wouldn't
シャノンは死ななくて済んだのに
Shannon wouldn't have had to die. I mean, I get that you love Shannon and that you kind of hate Natsuhi, but I don't think Natsuhi deserves to die either. Just then, a loud, sharp noise came in from the hall. Both of them turned around, surprised.
面白そうな話じゃねえか。
Batora! That's a pretty interesting chat you're having
俺
there.
も混ぜてくれよ。
Let me join in too. Before any of the servants realized it, Batara was standing in the doorway to the kitchen.
バトラ様これは失礼いたしました
Batara-sama, how rude of us. Genji-san and Kanan-kun stood up, surprised and hastily bowed. But I didn't care about stuff like that. I was more concerned with continuing their discussion.
便所って言って抜けさせてもらったのさ。
I told them I was going to the bathroom, so they let me go.
ずっとあの部屋に閉じ込められてると窒息しちまいそうだったからな。
I thought I'd suffocate if I was locked up in that room any longer.
水でも飲ませてもらおうかと思ったら面白そうな話が聞こえてきたんでよ。
I was about to come ask you guys for some water, but then I overheard something pretty interesting.
頭なんか下げなくていいぜ。
You don't need to bow your heads or anything.
今の話の続きを聞かせてくれよ。
Please, let me hear the rest.
今のは別に
That just now wasn't really what? Hello, Nayud. Hi, welcome in. Hope you're doing good today.
ちょいと前から話は聞かせてもらってるんだ。
I've been listening to you for a
今
while.
さら隠すなよ。
Don't try to hide it now.
だから
So,
単刀直入に聞くさ。
I'll ask directly.
ベアトリーチェってのは何者だ？
Who is this Beatrice?
どうやらおとぎ話の魔女ってだけじゃなさそうだな。
She's supposed to be a witch from a kid's story, but it doesn't look that way now. Kanon-kun averted his gaze. It was obvious that he didn't want to talk about this, which only made me want to ask even more. While making an effort to smile, I grabbed the collar of his shirt. Oh boy.
昨べまでなら俺は無関係さ。
Last night, this would have been none of my
だ
business.
がな、今朝からは違う。
But after this morning, everything's changed.
親父たちを殺された時点で俺は立派な関係者だ。
Now that Dad and the rest have been killed, this is totally my business.
俺にもそのうさんくさそうな話を聞かせてもらう資格があるはずだぜ。
I have the right to listen to this suspicious story, don't I? Kanon. Ex Batara so early in the morning, not my yaoi. I glared into Kanon's eyes as he continued to avert his gaze in apparent pain. I mean, with Kanon being furniture, what is this then? What does it make this? I don't know. Since there was a big difference in our heights, Kanon had to stand on his toes and it looked like it hurt a bit.
バトラさん、手を離してやってくださいな。
Batara-san, please let go of him.
別にカノンさんは隠しているわけではないのです。
Kanon-san isn't really hiding anything.
じゃあ話してくれたっていいじゃねえか。
Then you won't have any problem talking about it, right?
仲間外れたら寂しいぜ。
It's lonely being out of the loop, you know. When I tried to further twist up his collar, Genji-san cut between us and spoke. In his expression were faint traces that he'd made up his mind to do something. Apparently, he had no intention of hiding it.
お話しすることはできます。
I can tell you about it.
ただバトラ様がお気を悪くなされるかもしれませんのでカノンは躊躇しているのです。
Kanon only hesitated because you might have taken it badly, Batara-sama.
躊躇なんて男らしくねえぜ。
Hesitating, huh? Not very manly of you.
内緒にされる方が気持ち悪いさ。
Whatever it is you're talking about, it's even more unpleasant having it kept a secret.
聞かせてくれよ。
Tell me about it.
どうせ明日までできることはないんだ。
It's not like we have anything better to do before tomorrow comes.
多少はうさんくさい話の方が退屈も紛れるってもんだぜ。
A slightly spooky story might be the best way to avoid getting bored. Let's go. He gets it. Genji-san and Kanon-kun looked at each other, then nodded as though they'd decided to talk.
わかりました。
Understood.
何でもお聞きください。
Please ask us anything.
お話しします。
We will talk.
ああ。
I hate it when they do this, like ask me anything. I don't know anything. What am I supposed to ask? Just tell me everything that you know.
じゃあ聞くぜ。
Right, then I'll ask.
ベアトリーチェってのは一体何なんだ？
Who in the world is Beatrice?
俺が知ってる限りでは露見島の森に住まう魔女ってことになってる。
All I know is that she's a witch who lives in the forest of Rokenjima.
森に入ると危ないからってんでばあ様あたりが作り出した脅し話だって聞いてる。
I've heard it's a story grandmother or someone invented to keep people out of the dangerous forest.
違うのか？
Is that wrong?
いえ、違いません。
No, it isn't
そ
wrong.
の通りです。
It's as you say.
ベアトリーチェ様は六軒島の森に住まわれる魔女であらせられます。
Beatrice is a witch who dwells in the forest of Rokenjima.
バトラ様にわかには信じられないでしょうがベアトリーチェ様は存在するのです。
Batra-sama, I don't expect you to believe this all of a sudden, but Beatrice-sama exists.
親方様に莫大な黄金を授け長いことおそばにお仕えした実在する方なのです。
She's a real person, the one who gave the master a vast amount of gold and who worked by his side for many years. She did say that she worked as his alchemist? Though I wonder, like, why Kinzo keeps, like, yearning for her? I don't know. Why he keeps thirsting for her? If they're, like, working together, why hasn't he seen her in a while? Why does he keep talking about, like, seeing her smile one last time and whatnot? That doesn't sound like they're working together, you know? It sounds like she did something and then she was like, yo, peace out. And then he was left all alone and now he's desperate. Let a man yearn. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to understand. All in time. Okay. I'll be patient.
はあ？よせやよせやい。
Huh? Oh, come on.
じい様の受け売りを言うのも給料のうちだってのか？
Is grandfather paying you to repeat everything he says? I laughed like it was a joke, but neither Genji-san nor Kanon-kun laughed. Not even Kumasawa-bachan, who was avoiding my eyes, flustered as she started washing the dishes. So, unfortunately, I was the only one laughing. Painfully, bitterly.
なるほど。源氏さんが断るだけはあるぜ。
I see. That's why Genji-san refused to mention
こ
it.
いつは確かに正気じゃ気を悪くする。
If you really mean it, of course I'd take it badly.
つまり、ベアトリーチェっていう名の人物は実在するんだな。
So, you're saying that a person named Beatrice actually exists.
はい。
It's the 1980s. It was a wildly inappropriate workplace relationship, you see. Ah, yeah. It makes sense, yeah. There has been one such case here already. I wouldn't be surprised.
親方様がこの島にお屋敷を構える以前からずっとお仕えしている方でございます。
Yes, she has been working for the master since before the mansion was built on this island.
おそらく私よりも長くお仕えしているでしょう。
She has most likely been working for him even longer than I have. Oh, I'm gonna assume that he was working with her around the time that, you know, most of his family ended up dying. I don't know if, like, they were working together even before that, or if his family dying was, like, the reason why he started working together with her, but, like, I would assume that it started somewhere around there, because, like, he seemed to have a plan ready and everything, and suddenly he had gold and money and, like, build up the family from zero, which, you know, it wasn't actually his hard work, but probably just all her. A reclusive billionaire and a magical creature of the night. So scandalous. It happens. It's like... It's kind of like, oh god, what was the movie called again? Oh... The vampire? The old vampire? Jesus, it's... Nosferatu? You know what I mean? Jesus, is that the movie that I recently watched? There's many... yeah. You will maybe understand what I'm trying to reference if you watch the Nosferatu... If that's the right movie, even. Movie. It's a similar story, anyway. Family dying sounds like the start of a witch contract. I mean, maybe she's even the reason they are dead. Who knows?
なんてこった。
What do you
桐江さん
know?
の仮説は外れたな。
Kiria-san's theory was off.
じい様にベアトリーチェという名の腹心は実在したってわけだ。
Grandfather really did have a confidante, I don't know, called Beatrice.
そいつは今この島にいるんだな。
Is that person on the island now? Hello, Ayo. Hi. Thank you for stopping by. I'm glad that you enjoy it. Hope you're doing good. We could do a watch along of the original Nosferatu or the Werner Herzog one too. They're interesting movies. I watched one last year, but I forgot which one it was. I don't think it was the original Nosferatu, but it was like... Oh, the famous fucking vampire that I keep forgetting the name of. It is Dracula. That's the one. I don't know if it was like the Nosferatu movie or if it was like a Dracula movie. I don't really remember, but it was an old movie and it was basically just kind of Dracula having intercourse with all kinds of people and like transforming them into like weird creatures and stuff like that. It was kind of a wild ride. That was a crazy movie. I think it was the new one, which I watched in the theaters too. The one I watched was pretty old. It was kind of crazy. It felt like a fever dream. If I can find which movie it was exactly, I'll link it in the Discord, but it was kind of crazy. That is a movie that I have not seen. It was kind of crazy. It was very... strange. I don't know. I don't really have words to describe it. How old is old? Many years old? Way older than I am? Let me see. Can I find it maybe? Me when I don't read the visual novel but to talk about something completely unrelated. Let me see. It was not black and white. It was a... Or was it black and white? Fuck, man. I don't even remember anymore. No, I don't think it was black and white. It was, Was it this one? Bram Stoker's? Bram Stoker. Yeah, I think it was Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's from 1992. I think that's the one. The guy playing Dracula looks familiar to me. I think this was the movie. Yeah, pretty sure. It was pretty good. It was pretty good, but it was very crazy. Yeah, it had Keanu Reeves. I remember. Yeah. Yeah. He was in there too. It was very interesting to see young Keanu Reeves. It was special. It was something to behold. Yeah, you should finish it. It was not a bad movie. Very interesting. I recommend it. It's wild but good. Yes, I believe that she's here.
曖昧な言い方だな。
That's a vague way to say
って
it.
ことは、昨日今日そいつの顔を見たってわけじゃなさそうだな。
I guess that means you haven't seen her face today or yesterday. That is correct.
大変申し上げがたいのですが、
It is extremely difficult to say, but
その
Kanan-kun once again dropped his gaze, avoiding my eyes.
なんだよ、そこで切るなよ。
Come on, don't just stop there.
寸止めみたいで気持ち悪いぜ。
It's like freezing an inch before the blow, right? I urged him on jokingly again. However, it looked like Kanan was still confused as to whether he should speak or not. And Kumasawa Ba-chan whispered. Why does she start it off like that? Why is this old lady so creepy?
お顔を見ようにも、
You cannot see her face.
ベアトリーチェ様にはお姿がありませんから。
Because Beatrice-sama has no form.
お姿が
She has no...
なんだって
What did you say?
ベアトリーチェ様にはお体がありません。
Beatrice-sama has no body.
ですから、ベアトリーチェ様がお望みにならない限り、私ども凡庸ではお姿を見ることすら叶いません。
Therefore, unless Beatrice-sama wishes it, common people like us are not able to see her form. So I'm guessing, like, the golden butterflies that Chanon saw before she died were Beato? Just without a body, so she couldn't really perceive her. She's very over Shannon already. I can't believe she laughed like that. That's so creepy.
ベアトリーチェ様が人の姿をされていた頃の絵があの肖像画のものなのだとか。
I have heard that the portrait shows what Beatrice-sama looked like back when she had a human form.
そのお姿を懐かしみ、よく肖像画の前に佇まれているそうな。
It seems he yearned for that figure so much he would often stand in front of that portrait. He quite literally was yearning.
ベアトリーチェ様は時折、輝く蝶の姿に身を変えられて現れることがあります。
Beatrice-sama sometimes shows herself by changing her form into glittering
万
butterflies.
一、お屋敷の中でお見かけした場合には、決してその後を追ってはならない決まりです。
On the rare occasion that you spot them somewhere in the mansion, there is a rule that you absolutely mustn't chase after them.
追えば不幸があると囁かれています。
It is whispered that you will meet with disaster if you do.
その禁を破り、大怪我をして辞めた使用人も実際にいます。
In fact, there was a servant who broke that rule and quit because of a great injury. Well, the fact that Chanon saw those butterflies and ended up dead is a good signifier for what possibly happened. You know, she may or may not have gone after the butterflies.
おいおい、マジかよ。
Wait a second, are you kidding me?
あんたら、本気でそんな話をしているのかよ。
Are you all serious about this?
バトラス様、すでにベアトリーチェ様がお越しになっておられます。
Batara-sama, Beatrice-sama has already arrived.
そのようなお言葉はよろしくないかと思われます。
Such language may be unwise.
ベアトリーチェ様はご自身を冒涜される方を好みません。
Beatrice-sama does not like it when she's profaned.
その存在を疑えば必ずや不幸が降りかかるでしょう。
If you doubt her existence, you will surely meet with disaster.
バトラさん、気持ちの悪いお話とお思いでしょ。
Batara-san, you probably find this topic unpleasant.
ですがね、
But you know what?
ベアトリーチェ様はいるんですよ。
Beatrice-sama does exist.
います。
She exists.
それを疑われることをベアトリーチェ様はことのほか嫌われます。
Beatrice-sama hates people who doubt that. Wow, it's kind of like Maria. She also hates people who doubt it.
わかりませんか、バトラ様。
Can't you tell, Batara-sama?
ベアトリーチェ様は今すでにここ
Beatrice-sama
に
has
お越しに
already
なっております。
arrived here.
おいおい、よせよ。
Come on, quit it.
俺、そういうのは弱いんだぜ。
I'm weak against that stuff.
脅しっこなしにしろい。
Enough with the cheap threats. However, there was no trace of a joke in the eyes of the three servants. On the surface, I laughed and tried to look unconcerned, but I was quickly starting to sober up. Their eyes were also sobering up fast.
バトラさん、お願いですから、ベアトリーチェ様を冒涜することはおやめください。
Yeah, everyone is telling him, like, yo, you gotta start believing, and he just doesn't believe. Katsubatara doing that dorky face. What face of his isn't dorky, though? I kind of feel like, I don't know, they said that she's kind of a little silly, right? She's silly killing people left and right, you know, but I feel like she wouldn't mind too much if we made a little fun of her. Maybe she would kill us, but, you know, I would let myself be killed by her. Batara-san, I beg that you stop profaning Beatrice-sama.
悪いことは申し上げません。
Please, trust me. Kumasawa Ba-chan, who was usually cheerful and would always tease people, now spoke with a totally serious face.
いや、
Well,
いるって言われてもよ。
even if you say she exists,
俺には何も見えないぜ。
I don't see anything.
今、俺の隣にいるとでも言うのかよ。
Are you trying to say she's standing right next to me or something?
冗談よせやい。
Quit joking around. Dude, I swear to you, if it turns out that fucking Maria is like possessed by Beato or something, I'm gonna lose my shit. This is not real. Everything points to her being like somehow connected. I mean, they're obviously connected in some way, but like, it's so weird. What is happening? There's something happening here. Watara's cute, so he'll get the pass. He is indeed quite cute, even though he's a pervert. I do find him. I do kind of like him. I do enjoy him. Why are they only showing half her face? This is really creepy. Just then, that unnerving laugh suddenly filled the kitchen. When I turned around, Maria was standing there by the entrance, but her expression and the feeling about her presence, felt exactly the same as the servants. She became furniture. Whether your wavelength matches or not is determined at birth. Batara, you were born with a mismatched wavelength. That's why you can't see her. That's why you can't meet with her. And that's why you can't talk to her. You're the type Beatrice hates the most. Maria laughed like it was funny, but it sounded extremely eerie. it was almost like she was laughing at me because I alone didn't understand.
ベアトリーチェのことが知りたい？
Do you want to know about Beatrice?
ベアトリーチェはね、1000年の魔女なんだよ。
Beatrice is a 1,000-year-old witch.
あらゆる悪魔を刺激し、錬金術を極め、賢者の石を生み出し、莫大な黄金を生み出すことができる。
With all of the demons at her command, she can harness the power of alchemy to create the Philosopher's Stone and a vast quantity of gold. What is the Philosopher's Stone exactly? It's something that appears in many stories and I never really understand what the fuck it is. Is it? I don't know. I don't really understand what it is. I'm sorry. Batra's the goat. After all, I do agree. I do like him. I also like Keiichi, though. I feel like Batra... I don't know. Do I find Batra worse or better than Keiichi? It is yet to be decided. Maria talks with one ghost and she thinks she's the shit. She is the shit. What do you mean? Look at her. Those expressions are so good. Look at Maria's fang. She is very cool. I like the evil expressions that they gave her, or like more like mischievous expressions that they gave her. I think it's an object that can turn anything into gold. Harry Potter movie. That's like the only thing that I know talks about it in more detail, but I already forgot. I haven't watched that one in so long. Ultimate goal of alchemy, able to turn lead and metal into gold. Okay.
おじいさまは彼女と契約することで、後宮家に莫大な富を築いたんだよ。
Grandfather built up all the vast wealth of the Ushiromiya family by making a contract with her.
昨日私がベアトリーチェの手紙を読んだでしょ？
Yesterday I read Beatrice's letter, didn't
あ
I?
れは本当なんだよ。
That was real.
バトラに信じろと言っても無理な話だろうけど。
Well, I guess it's pointless for me to try and force you to believe.
六感が生まれつきさっぱりみたいだからね。
After all, it looks like you were born without a trace of the sixth sense. Oh yeah, this reminds me. I saw an Umineko cosplay at Dokomi, but I don't know who the character is because that character has not yet appeared, but I have seen like some art of that character, like with the blue pigtails and the poofy pink dress. I don't know if I saw two different people cosplaying that character or if it was just one person, the same person, but I was like, oh, that looks so Umineko, and then I was like, wait a second, that's an Umineko character, isn't it? It's a pretty good laugh. Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah! Erika. I think I've seen that name floating around too. I don't really know who that is, but I've seen that character being drawn before. I know roughly what they look like. I know nothing more about them. At least 2 or 3, I think. Yeah, I saw 2. Yeah, again, I don't know if it was the same person, but I think it was 2 different people. So at least 2 different people cosplaying that same character.
なんだよそれ。
What are you talking about?
魔女？悪魔？
Witches. Demons.
そんなの誰に聞いたんだよ。
Who told you about that?
ベアトリーチェ本人に聞いたんだよ。
I heard it from Beatrice herself. I just had bad luck. I only saw them briefly, and I was hoping that I would see someone like cosplaying Beato or something, but I didn't. No such luck. But it was also very hot. I'm surprised I even saw one person cosplaying that because the dress was huge. Hello, Uni. Hi, welcome in. Maria kept doing that unpleasant laugh. However, the servants who watched over this didn't even blink. She heard it from that witch in the portrait adorning the entrance hall. Maria kept on laughing in a weird voice, as though this was nothing more or less than the truth.
マリア、聞くだけ野暮だろうが、もう一回聞くぜ。
Maria, it might be rude to ask, but I'll ask one more time, okay?
昨日、マリアにあの手紙を渡したのは誰だ？
Who gave you that letter yesterday?
ベアトリーチェにもらったって 何度言えばわかるかな。
I got it from Beatrice. How many times must I tell you before you understand?
わかんないよね。
You don't get it, do you?
見えないんだもんね。
You can't see it.
信じられないもんね。
You can't believe it, can you? Just then, Maria's laughter suddenly stopped.
バトラ、
They barely even like acknowledge that she talks way different. She's like a totally different person. And they're just like, oh, she's a little bit weird, but she's like so different.
まだわかんない。
Batara, you still don't understand?
ベアトリーチェ様がいるのが。
Beatrice-sama exists. Why do they put it like, oh, what is it called? In quotation? Is that it? Yeah. Hello, Brooke and B. Maria and the other Maria. It's all the same one.
いるって。
But also not really. She exists, you say, but where?
だからベアトリーチェ様がここにいるのが。
Like I said, Beatrice-sama exists here. That's right. Now that I think about it, I've been feeling for a while now that the servants' eyes haven't been pointed in quite the right direction. I'd figured they were just staring absent-mindedly, but that wasn't the case. The four here, Genji-san, Kanon-kun, Kumasawa-san, and Maria, everyone except me was looking at a spot right behind me. Oh, stop! I'm creeped out. Holding my breath tightly, I slowly looked over my shoulder. Of course, there wasn't anyone there. I've known that the whole time. However, everyone in the room except me was focusing on that point as if there was someone there.
ベアトリーチェは1000年を生きた偉
Turn
大
around,
な
guys.
黄金
Look
の
over your
魔女。
shoulder. Is she there? She suddenly became fluent in English. No more ow ow. Ooh. Quotations for emphasis on key concept or something like that. Thank you, thank you. She's right behind me, isn't she? Man, they did this shit in Higurashi too, but like they actually just jump scared you in Higurashi. They're being super kind here. They only jump scared me with Maria like 1 or 2 times. No worries. Is Beatrice a brimmed hat? I'd assume so. I can see it. Beatrice is the mighty golden witch who has lived for 1,000
で
years.
も波長の合う人間にしか自分の姿を見せられないし話しかけられない。
But since she can't show her form to humans of the wrong wavelength, she can't talk to them.
だからね、
And you know what?
それがとても悲しいんだよ。
That's really sad.
だからバトラみたいな生まれつき魔法のセンスもかけらのない人に存在を否定されるのがものすごく嫌いなんだよ。
It means she truly despises it when people like you, who were born without a fragment of the ability needed to sense magic, deny that she exists.
バトラは幸運だよ。
The mention of fragment kind of made me, you know, do a double take. Because, you know, the whole like Higurashi fragment thing, but I don't know if that'll even be relevant. Beatrice wears no hat, so I don't think so. Right, I don't think she has anything in her hair. Only her updo. You're lucky, Batara.
昨日私にお守りをもらっていてよかったね。
Good thing I gave you that charm yesterday, right?
それを身につけていなかったら今頃ベアトリーチェのどんな呪いが身に及んでいたか分かったものじゃない。
Don't you realize what kind of curse Beatrice would have put on you by now if you hadn't been carrying it around?
本当に幸運なんだよ、バトラは。
You really are lucky, Batara.
ああ、サソリのキーホルダーかよ。
Oh, that scorpion
あれっ
keychain.
て安っぽい景品か何かだと思ってたんだが、ちとはご利益あったってことなのか？
I thought that was just some cheap gift or something, but are you saying it really had some power? I kind of like how Batara does understand that she's like wildly different, so he doesn't talk with the same care as he does usually. at least in terms of when, you know, he talks to Maria. Like, this is something that he would never say to, like, the usual Maria, because she'd be so sad to hear that he thought it was just some cheap little trashy gift or something. But now he's just like, oh, well, if she's gonna be like this, and I'm already pissed off, then I guess I'll just say it like that.
それがなかったら今頃バトラがあの倉庫の中で顔面を砕かれて生贄にされていたんだよ。
If it weren't for that, you'd be lying in that storehouse as a sacrifice with your face crushed by now.
幸運だったよバトラは。
You're so lucky, Batara.
そうか。
I see.
あれがなかったら、俺は今頃殺されてたってのか。
So, if it weren't for that, I'd have been killed by now.
なんでバトラはベアトリーチェを信じないの？
Batara, why don't you believe in Beatrice?
いるのに。
Even though she exists.
今そこにほら。
Right now, over there, look. Does she actually exist? Why do they keep saying it like that? It makes me, like, question it even more. This guy's parents just died, no wonder he's pissed. Yeah, he should be pissed. Hello, Borealis, welcome in. Yes, recently, a couple of weeks, months ago, I finished Higurashi, so Umineko is next. She exists, spooky. Hello, Grungo. So, okay, the way that I understand it is that, you know, she exists, but you can't actually see her, so you just kind of have to believe it. It's kind of like, I don't know, any other, I don't know, fictional person? I don't know. It's kind of hard to, like, understand what they mean. Big question of the hour. I do think that she exists, but we just can't see her. We need wavelengths. How do we acquire wavelengths? How do we adjust the Batara brain waves? Maria's mood has really improved ever since the last day. Yeah, she's so happy. Maybe she just cast like a little invisibility spell, you know? Maybe she drank some invisibility potion. Or potion? Just potion. It doesn't have to be poison.
信じる気になったでしょ？
Hey, I'll bet you want to believe it now.
信じなよ。
Believe it.
マリアにお守りをもらったことを感謝しながら。
And thank me for giving you that charm.
あれがなければバトラは今頃倉庫の中。
If it weren't for that, you'd be in the storehouse right now.
代わりに誰か一人が助かっていたかもしれないね。
But then maybe you would have saved someone else in exchange, right? Right then, I burst into laughter. Playing witches had been pretty fun up until a second ago, but unfortunately, that last one seemed to be too much for me to gloss over. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. He's gonna be a non-believer until the very end. He's gonna be like, no, fuck you. Okay, there's gonna be an ad break in like 2 minutes roughly, so I'm gonna start it now so that we can go into Batara mode. Maria is the greatest. I do love her. I don't know what to think of her. Right now, she just seems like a gaslighting queen. She just wants to make everyone angry at her at the moment, which I think is really funny and good. One of my favorite songs. There may be a lot of favorite songs here. I feel like, have we heard this before? It seems familiar. I feel like I've heard it before. People telling him to believe makes him want to disbelieve even more. Exactly. Like it's the psychology. People telling you not to do something, but then you do it anyway because, you know, just too many people told you not to do it. It's the same thing here. People tell you to believe, so you don't believe out of spite. Anyway, I'll be back in like 3 minutes. And then we can continue reading. Okay, I'm back. I'm trying to, like, charge my phone when I go on breaks. So we'll see how that goes. It's currently, it's looking dire. It is looking pretty empty. I hope my phone doesn't die in the middle of this next part till the next ad break. It is definitely overheating again, but it hasn't like died from the heat, so we'll see. Even if Beatrice appears before him, he'll say it's a great cosplay. Yeah, he will never believe it. Never. Thank you, thank you. Welcome back to you too. Let's keep going.
じゃあ全然ダメだぜマリア。
Then it's all useless, isn't it,
って
Maria?
ことなら悪いが、ああ全然ダメだ。
If that's true, then I'm sorry, but it's all useless. When Maria saw me suddenly start laughing, she stopped. Even though she didn't understand what I was laughing at, she realized it wouldn't be pleasant for her.
お前が傷つくだろうと思ったから、俺黙ってたけどよ。
I thought it might hurt you, so I didn't say it earlier, but...
お前にもらったお守りよ。俺、
Well,
ポケットに入れたつもりだったんだけどよ。
I thought I'd put that charm you gave me in my
ど
pocket,
っかに落っことしちまったんだぜ。
but I must have dropped it somewhere.
だから俺が今この瞬間に無事なのはお守りのおかげでもねえし。なら魔女様の呪いがあって当然なのに、今この瞬間もピンピンしてる。
So, the charm can't be the only reason I'm alive now, and even though I should have been cursed by the witch, I'm perfectly fine.
悪いが、俺は自分の目で見たものしか信じね
Sorry, but I don't believe in things that I don't see with my own eyes. I mean, technically, it was only people that were in the main mansion that were killed. I'm assuming that it was just like the place that Beato was in at the moment and that she picked people from that specific location, and the fact that he was not there probably saved his ass. I hope you're enjoying the greatest novel ever written. I love it. This is really fun. Hello, Haitian Shots. Oh, I don't know if you... Oh, I always just read it as Haitian, even though it doesn't have like the German. I don't even know if usernames with this, with these like German letters are allowed, but I'm just gonna say Haitian, since I'm guessing that's what your name is supposed to be. Welcome back, Broken Bee. Twitch would not allow me to have an umlaut, so just imagine it's there. Okay, okay. Haitian, hello, welcome in. Sixth senses.
波長
Wavelengths.
魔法のセンス
Magic sensitivity.
悪いが俺はそういう眉唾なもんは一切信じねえぜ。
Sorry, but I don't believe in fake stuff like
ク
that.
ラスの女が霊感がいいの悪いのって言い出すのを聞いてると虫唾が走るのさ。
When I hear the girls in class start talking about how good or bad their ability to sense the supernatural is, it pisses me off.
あんたらがいくらじい様に給料もらってるか知らねえが、俺を妙な宗教に勧誘しようったって。
I don't know how much grandfather is paying you, but if you're trying to talk me to joining some cult,
そう簡単にはいかねえってことをよく肝に銘じておきやがるってんだ。
believe me, you won't be able to do it that easily. Maybe his, like, professional non-believing is the reason why Beato is, like, keeping him alive so that she can play with him and be like, yo, do a 180 on him, a little jump scare at the end and be like, hey, I actually existed, bitch. Portuguese used to have the 2 dots above the U. Oh, really? I didn't know that. I thought it was just mostly like German. I don't know if any other languages use them. Otherwise, one of the only people who said it correctly on the first try. My congratulations. Thank you, thank you. I mean, it's like... It's, you know, Schwarz just means black in German. So I was like, oh, you know, Haitian is probably what you were going with, so... I like how he says Maho no sensu. Yeah, the fucking magic sense. Kinzo's just waving a wad of cash around to whoever wants to try and convert Batra. It's like, get my, oh, what is it? Is it? Oh, it's his grandfather, right? So Batra would be Kinzo's, grandchild. Get my grandchild to believe in Beato and you get the 10 metric tons of gold. Let's go. Hello, Skip. Welcome in. Hope you're doing good today. Happy Friday.
バトラ様。
カノン君たちが信じるのは自由だぜ。
You guys are free to believe whatever you want.
だが、俺が信じるかどうかは。
However, when it comes to things to the things I believe, the one
俺が
who decides
自分で決める。
is always me.
マリーがこの目で見るまで、ベアトリーチェなんてうさんくさいものの存在を信じるわけにはいかないぜ。
Sorry, but I can't believe in something as shady as Beatrice until I've seen her with my own eyes. I spoke forcefully and sharply, and Maria started cackling again. Strongly believe that she won't kill him just to mess with him.
ならそれでいい
The
んじゃない
goat? Well, that's just fine, isn't it?
いずれお前のような波長が全然合わない人の目にもベアトリーチェは見えるようになる。
Eventually, even people like you with totally mismatched wavelengths will be able to see Beatrice.
もうじき蘇るんだよ。
Very soon, she will revive.
ベアトリーチェはね。
Beatrice will revive. Okay, so there's so many things to unpack about her. She exists, but they put it in quotation marks as to say that she technically exists, but also not really. Then they keep talking about her reviving, so she's technically dead? She doesn't exist anymore? I'm assuming it has something to do with Kinzo? I don't know. And this is all to revive her? So that she can come back and have a physical form? But then also it seemed like her not having a physical form was out of her own free will. So I'm trying to understand. It all just... Ugh. It's so confusing. It'll all make sense at some point, but right now, there's a lot of questions in my brain. Maria looks creepy as fuck in these shots. I love it for her. She's looking super evil, and it's good. Hello, Lark. Welcome in. Hope you're doing good today. It'll make sense, maybe, depending on what you believe. Maybe I'm a non-believer. Just like Batara, maybe she doesn't actually exist. You know, we'll see. We'll find out, probably.
そうしたら一緒にいっぱいお話をしたり遊んだりしようって約束してるんだよ。
Very soon she'll revive. Beatrice will revive. Once that happens, she's promised to talk with me and play with me a lot.
疑う必要も無理に信じる必要も全くない。
There will be absolutely no need for you to doubt or for us to force you to believe.
現れるんだよ。
She will
もうじ
appear
きね。
very soon. So once she revives, we'll be able to see her. She revives after... after a couple of days? So the 9th night? But then everyone will also be dead, so I wonder how that's gonna work. The witch shall revive and none shall be left alive. Don't worry about it. Batara will live. Just need a bag of onions to get Maria to do something. Onions? Why onions? Did anyone else die? Not yet. Just the 6 that died on the first night. But lunch is already over, so we're coming closer to the end of the second day. And so technically we'll see the continuation of the epitaph. None will be alive, but they will exist. Oh, you think it's like the thing that Beato's in, like the stasis? They will technically exist, but they won't have like a physical form? Maybe. After a meal, some people tend to head to the bathroom, while others prefer to relax for a bit. It seemed that several people had left the parlor just like I did when I went to the kitchen to drink some water. Oh, the fucking not the shotgun, the sawed-off rifle. In the end, Aunt Natsuhi reluctantly retracted her order that everyone remain packed into the parlor, on the condition that no one headed out on their own or stray too far. In any case, if 11 people are shut up in the same room starting early in the morning, the air will start to stagnate. Can they open windows? Also, quite some time had passed, so everyone was starting to recover from the shock of that morning, and their sense of danger might have been weakening too. However, it was a certain fact that 6 people had been killed inside this mansion, so no one was completely negligent. So whenever they went out into the hallway for a breath of fresh air, trying to act tough, they would quickly get scared of standing there, isolated, and would eventually return to the parlor. I guess it's like the north wind and the sun. If you force someone to stay shut in, they'll resist, but if you tell them to do whatever they want, they'll come back obediently. It's kind of like what Batara is going through, you know, the whole telling him to believe, and that makes him want to not believe, and if they hadn't said anything, maybe he would have believed. A bag of onions doesn't have a lot of value. I thought of it because Maria said, well, Beatrice will play with me a lot when she revives. It's just kind of cute, you know, even though she's so creepy, she's like, oh yeah, I wanna play with Beato. Does no Natsu would always have her finger on the trigger and the gun would go off randomly. Honestly, I can see that happening. She'll be talking with Eva and Eva will say something stupid and then she'll shoot her. And then she'll be dead. People really do like not doing what they're told. Okay. When the servants finished cleaning up from the meal, they returned obediently to the parlor, just as Natsu had told them to, and sat on a sofa near the entrance, patiently awaiting orders. Maria, almost as though she had suddenly finished playing witches, had returned to the pure Maria I knew well, saying, ooh, ooh. What in the world happened back there? I hadn't felt even an atom of the presence of this person called Beatrice, who was supposedly standing behind me, invisible. However, it felt like I'd glimpsed a little of that presence inside Maria.
確かに
You're right.
マリアちゃんは魔女とかの話になると人が変わるね。
When Maria starts talking about witches, her personality changes.
昨日海岸でバトラ君も見たでしょ。
Batara-kun, you also saw it down by the beach yesterday, right?
サソリのキーホルダーの時か？
You mean that scorpion keychain?
いや、あんな機嫌を損ねるみたいな感じじゃなくてよ。
No, I don't mean like when her feelings were hurt.
まるでその二重人格みたいな感じで。
I'm talking about her having a dual personality or something.
ああ、たまにそういうこともあるな。
Yeah, that happens sometimes too.
さっきマリアが魔法陣の話を始めた時みたいなやつ、たまーにあるぜ。
That thing Maria did when she was talking about the magic circle does happen every now and then. Okay, so it has happened before we all came here, I suppose.
気持ち悪いけどな。
It's freaky though. Apparently Jessica had spotted that kihihihihi Maria a few times. I just happened to catch it at a bad moment and was pretty freaked out seeing it for the first time.
あれってのは何なんだ？
So what is that?
マリアは二重人格か何かなのか？
Does Maria have a dual personality or something?
それとも本当に霊感が強かったりとかして、そういうのに憑依されたりとかしちまうのかよ。
Or are you saying that her spiritual sense really is that strong and she's being possessed by a spirit or whatever?
そういうのじゃないと思うよ。
No, I don't think it's that.
バトラ君にも経験ない？
Haven't you ever experienced it?
小さい頃、自分以外の誰かになりたかったなんてこと。
When you were small, didn't you ever want to be someone other than yourself? Oh, so she's just role-playing. When humans are born, no one has any individuality. However, when they reach their growth period, their sense of self starts to be born. What if Rokenjima is just a huge island of people role-playing? They're LARPing. Yeah, she's LARPing. Let's go. It's just like a huge LARPing event that happens once a year and they just, you know, have fun playing witches and whatnot. They want to be different than other people, but since everyone else in their class is learning the same things at the same rate and being forced into the same lifestyle, of course they aren't going to find anything that makes them different from everyone else around them. Once they realize that, the first thing they do is to start breaking the rules in what's called the rebellious stage. Since everyone else follows the rules, they want to show off their individuality by breaking them. So even those who try to act tough, mocking everyone around them and calling them childish, can actually be viewed as cute kids searching for themselves if you look at it this way. Umineko-con, yeah, it all makes sense now. And then they explode. No deaths, everyone was just having fun. Yeah, exactly. They're just, you know, the other people are just LARPing that they're dead. Well, I'm lecturing about all this like I'm so smart, but I actually got it secondhand from Joji and Nikki. I myself was one of those embarrassing guys who thought it was cool to act like a little bastard. Well, that was when I was at the age where you try to show off for the opposite sex.
成長期の根底には子供から脱却したいというひよこが殻を破るのに似た衝動がある。
The main feature of the growing period lies in an impulse to break away from your life as a kid, like a chick trying to crack open the shell of their egg.
子供と大人の違いは何かわかるかい？
Do you know what makes children and adults different?
年齢？
Sense of whimsy? Age?
それとも体格？
Or do you mean size?
違うよ。経験だよ。
No, it's experience.
大人が子供を見下すのは人生経験が少ないからだよ。
Adults can look down on children because children have very little life experience.
子供が何を言っても鼻で笑ってしまうのは世間知らずのくせにと見下しているからだよ。
The reason they snort at everything children say is because they think kids know nothing about the real world.
ああ、そういうのわかるぜ。
Yeah, I understand that.
子供の頃って妙に人生ってもう悟りきったようなことを口にして年長しゃぶりたくなるよな。
When you're a kid, you talk like you've got life all figured out somehow, trying to act like an
大
adult.
人は子供が何を言っても世の中甘くないとか社会に出ればわかるとか鼻で笑ってる。
No matter what kids say, adults just snort at them and say they're too naive or that they'll understand what they get when they get older or something.
まあ実際そうなんだけど子供的にはそういうのって見下されてるみたいでムカつくんだよな。
Well, it's probably true, but to a kid, it's just annoying, like they're being looked down upon.
なるほどな。
I mean, they're still at that age where, you know, the adults are doing exactly that to them. They don't really take them seriously. They might be, like, what, 18? Batara and Jeshka, for example, but they still get treated like kids.
知識や経験の有無か。
I get it. It's a question of knowledge and
確
experience.
かに年齢だけ無駄に食ってても尊敬はされねえよな。
Well, I guess you're right that there's no reason to respect a person for their age if they've just wasted their lives.
となるとつまり子供から脱却したいという衝動を持つ時期にかつ他者とは違うという個性を持ちたくなる。
Therefore, during the period when they try to separate themselves from other children, they also try to take on personality traits different from those around them.
子供からの脱却がつまり知識や経験なのだとしたら
Why does he always look like this? He's so creepy. And if knowledge and experience is what separates kids and adults,
なるほど。他人の持ち得ない知識を持つことが一つのアイデンティティになるわけか。
I get it. If they know something no one else knows, it becomes a part of their identity.
小学校の頃なんかさ、クラスの誰も知らないことを知っていたり、
You know, when I was in elementary school, I'd learned things no one else
持
knew.
っていたり身につけていたりするとヒーローになれたよな。
Got things no one else had, wear things no one else wore, and became a bit of a hero for
マ
it.
トラもそういう経験あるだろ？
I'll bet you've done the same thing, Batara. I'm glad that she was the hero, but I was just bullied for that. It doesn't always work that way. Does not always work that way. I think most kids just get bullied for being too different. That's really funny that she puts it as though it's like a good thing. I mean, maybe it was like a good thing for her, but that's not the case for a lot of people. Rikishi probably likes lens flares. I think he does. He really loved it on Idiot too. Not many characters have glasses, but when they do, they always get the little glare.
あるある。
Yeah, yeah.
何か一芸に秀でたいと思うお年頃って 確かにあるな。
There was definitely an age when I wanted to excel in some skill or
なる
other.
ほど。それが子供からの脱却、つまり成長期ってわけか。
I see. So that's because I was trying to separate myself from being a child, or going through my growing period, in other words.
健全な意味での成長期は、そうして没個性を脱却するために人が持たない知識やスキルを身につけることを促す。
If you put a positive spin on it, the growing period forces you to separate yourself from others, thereby pushing you to gain skills and knowledge no one else has.
これは社会学的にも面白いことだよ。
This is also interesting from a sociological standpoint.
人が没個性を嫌うために人と違う技術を身につけようとする。
Because people hate being like everyone else, they try to learn skills other people don't
こ
know.
れにより社会は幅広い技術を獲得して立脚する。
In this way, society can acquire the broad range of skills it needs to survive.
神々の高度なプログラミングに驚かされるね。
The quality of the gods' programming is truly surprising.
まあ個性がネガティブに働くこともあるぜ。
Well, unique personality traits can also be negative,
ク
right?
ラスみんなが真剣に勉強してるから俺だけはサボって目立とうとかよ。
Like, if, say, everyone in the class was studying hard, but I was the only one slacking off trying to stand out. Okay, that last bit really was true about me. Good to know he's a slacker. That's his good personality trait, or bad, I suppose. Depends on how you see it. Thank you for the 7-stream watch streak, Fifth Lord of Sheep. Welcome in. We're doing good today. It's only recently that I've been able to thank the middle school teacher who slapped me after school. Slapped you?
でもまあ誰も飛べない飛び箱を飛ん
After
でやりたいと
school?
か。
That's not good. That's not good. They should not be using violence. Even if he's a little shit. Only if you're like slacking and getting bad grades on purpose. That's not a reason to slap a kid, but whatever. But, well, I try to jump over things no one else
成
could.
績のいい連中を周回遅れにさせてやるぜってマラソンで全力疾走とかそういう気持ちはあったな。
Sprint as fast as I could, trying to lap those guys with good grades when we did a marathon. I just felt like doing it.
勉強はダメだったから少なくとも運動では見返してやるぜって根性はあった。
It was in my nature that if I couldn't study well, that at least I could get back at them by exercising.
なるほど。ちゃんと成長期してるな俺。
I see. So I really did go through a proper growing period. He's a jock! This feels like the section of the novel where characters debate something Ryukishi is interested in. Yep. Kind of. I mean, not that I'm against it. I think this is also very interesting. My dad told me a story about how he got late to school because of a heavy storm and got slapped for it. He was late by 5 minutes. What the hell? I mean, yeah, schools back then were kind of crazy. Like, the stories my parents told me about their teachers, like, just straight up hitting them if they did something wrong or if they, like, disrespected the teacher slightly, didn't do their homework, also, like, got there late or whatever. It was crazy. I really like when Umineko talks about society. It's really good. I mean, Higurashi does it too. It's just a Ryukishi staple. It's really nice.
男子ってやっぱり肉体的な方面に関心が向くよな。
I guess boys really do tend to focus more on physical stuff.
でもよ、同じ時期に女子は精神的な面に向きやすいんだよ。
But, you know, girls at the same age tend to focus more on mental, spiritual things.
バトラのクラスの女子にも占いとか霊感とかそんなこと言ってる女子連中のグループがあったりしただろ？
I'll bet there were groups of girls in your classes that got really interested in fortune telling and their spiritual senses.
あったあった。
Yeah, there were.
人の星座とか血液型とか聞いてきて、やっぱりクスクス。
They come over asking me for my sign and my blood type, and then they laugh. I thought so.
とか笑われると大いにムカついたもんだぜ。
It really got on my nerves.
どこのクラスに行っても女子は占いが好きだし、
No matter which class you go to, girls like fortune
決ま
telling.
って霊感に強いだの弱いだの、感受性がどうこう、見えないものが見えちまうだの、そういう手合いが必ずいたもんだぜ。
Deciding whether your spirit sense is strong or weak, what your sensitivity is, whether you can see the unseeable, that kind of thing definitely happened to me. I also feel like maybe this is just like a beginning type thing, but I feel like Rikishi is generalizing more, like the characters rather are generalizing more. I mean, you know, they would generalize things and divide girls and boys and like talk about their crazy differences they have. And they also did that in Higurashi, but I feel like it's more obvious in Umineko, maybe on purpose too, because, you know, the power imbalance in general in this family when it comes to women and men. I was biking, but I wanted to say Maria is already bullied by her mom. True. She has her own personal bully right at home. I mean, that's kind of sad, you know. She isn't accepted for who she actually is, you know, her going ooh. It's not very well received. But then it's also not well received when she nerds out about her hobby and whatnot, you know. Kind of sad.
占いも霊感も学校では教えないものだからね。
That's because fortune telling and spiritual senses are things that aren't taught in school.
男の子と違い、内向的な世界に関心を持ちやすい女の子にとって、
To girls who tend to be more introverted.
それはアイデンティティを確立しやすくて、かつ興味深いジャンルなんだよ。
It's a genre that's easy to build an identity upon, and one that holds a lot of interest for them.
男子が成長期に入ると急に悪ぶったりして大人に反抗を始めるのと全く同じに。
Just like how when boys enter their growing period, they start acting tough and rebel against adults.
女子も成長期に入るとそういうのに興味が出るようになるんだよ。
When girls enter their growing period, they start getting interested in that kind of thing.
私はそうでもなかったけどさ。
Well, I didn't though. Wow, this is exactly why generalization doesn't work, because not everyone is the same. That's crazy. I was gonna say, like, Jessica is not like that. We have seen her talk about like how she got stronger and stuff like that, and she definitely like focused on physical things too, and she's like clearly rebelling against her parents and whatnot. That's really funny. Rikishi loves to talk about how men and women are different and that we can never understand each other, then drop the best written women known to men. Yeah. I think it's just like, I like to believe that Rikishi, and this is also because of the time period, you know, he presents it in, it kind of seems to me like it's a problem clearly that things are being generalized. And it doesn't come across to me as though this is like his actual opinion. It's just like the time is different, time period is different. And I don't think he actually agrees with the sentiment. It's just like, this is probably what society thinks and probably what these characters would think. But it doesn't mean it's necessarily true. Because he doesn't actually write his women like that, you know? Or his characters in general. Media literacy in my VN. Crazy! I know.
つまりマリアがオカルトに関心を持つのは年頃の女の子としてはそう珍しくもないってことか。
So, Maria having so much interest in the occult isn't that rare among girls her age? Even if we accept that, I wonder if it explains that creepy dual personality thing. Actually, I think I probably could accept that explanation, more or less.
さっきも言った通り、大人になるというのは知識や経験を持つことを言う。
As you just said, becoming an adult means gaining knowledge and experience.
だから、それを得るために子供たちはいろいろなことを学んで、子供を脱却しなければならないんだけど。
So, to gain that, it's necessary for children to learn all sorts of things and break free from childhood.
子供の世界に今も昔もはびこっているある便利な妄想があるんだよ。
However, there are certain convenient delusions that you see often in the world of children, both now and in the past.
わかるかい？
Do you know what I mean?
漫画やアニメに多いだろ。
You see it all the time in manga and anime,
ほ
right?
らあれだよ。
Why do you say anime in like the most German way possible? Anime? Anime? I don't know. It's kind of like that.
前世の記憶が蘇ってとか。
Like you've got memories from a previous life that start to resurface.
偉大なるなんとかの魂が乗り移ってとか。
Like you're being possessed by the soul of the great something or whatever.
ああ、他にも遺伝子が覚醒したりとか。
Hello there, welcome in. Anime. I don't know, I think anime is probably the correct way to say it. Anime would be like saying it in a more English way. Or it could be that a sleeping gene gets
封
awakened.
印されていた能力やら記憶やらが戻ったりとか、いろいろあるな。
Or maybe a sealed power or memory returns. There's all kinds.
どういうわけか。あの時期はそういうのがやたらと流行るもんさ。
For some reason, stuff like that's really popular at that age. Is he implying that she's just Junie?
どうしてだ？
Why is that?
今挙げたキーワードは全て子供の自分に知識や経験を直ちに付加できる幻想だからだよ。
All of those examples you've just mentioned are illusions that let children immediately add to their sum of knowledge and experience.
9歳の女の子も1000年を生きた魔女が私に憑依していると言い出せば、
If a 9-year-old girl says she has a 1,000-year-old witch possessing her,
1009歳のアイデンティティが得られるわけだからね。
and she gains a 1,009-year-old identity.
まあつまり勉強するのは面倒くさい。
So, basically, studying is
でも
annoying.
人とは違うスキルを持って周りに威張りたい、ちやほやされたいっていう連中にとっては便利な妄想なんだよな。
But these delusions are convenient for people who want to brag about having a skill no one else has, amazing the people around them. So you could brag about something without having to work hard or study. I see. Isn't that a kid's greatest dream?
あとは子供からの脱却願望には必ず自分の理想像の自己投影が行われ、
Furthermore, in their desire to separate themselves from being kids, they always project an image of their ideal self.
その願望の姿が別人格として形成されることが少なくない。
And it's not rare for that desired self to become an alternate personality.
バトラ君だって家と学校では多少キャラクターが違うということがあるんじゃないかな。
Even you, Batora-kun, probably had a slightly different personality at home and at school, right?
多分家での自分の姿をクラスの友人たちに見せるのは恥ずかしいはずだよ。
It'd probably be embarrassing if your friends at school saw how you were at home.
学校の自分は自分のなりたい姿の投影で、家の自分は本来の姿だから。
At school, you try to project yourself as you want to be, but home is where you're your true self.
つまりキャラクターの使い分けというか。
So, in other words, I'm changing my personality depending on the situation. So basically, just trying to fit in, adapting to situations? Isn't that what most people do?
人格の多重化はごくごく当たり前だと言いたいわけか。
Yeah, are you trying to say having multiple personalities is actually really common?
オカルトが好きな女子はそれを憑依と言ったり覚醒と言ったりするぜ。
Isn't that just listening to social cues? Yeah, isn't that just... I think that's, I don't know, I would say that's something that I also do mostly, I think. I don't know, I don't know, maybe I don't do it that often. I would say so. Maria's ideal self is a murderous hottie her grandpa can't stop simping for. Let's not think about the specifics here. That makes it sound really, really bad. Everyone does it, but it's still an interesting topic. Yeah. A girl who's a fan of the occult might say she's being possessed or awakened.
正直ドン引きするくらいにキャラを変える子もいるよ。
Honestly, there are some kids who change their personality so much it's creepy.
男子にもいるだろ。
And some boys do it too, right? But I remember I would literally, I wouldn't say like a LARP, I think that's a strong word, but I would like role play as like different characters. There was this like vampire character in one of the Professor Layton games, and I used to like tie one of my like jackets around my neck in a way to like imitate a cape, and I'd go around like talking like that vampire guy. I think my friends were like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But it was like, it was really fun. I was like role-playing as a cool vampire, man. I was like 10, 11 years old. I was the shit. I was so cool. That was really fun. I had a good time. The one with the halogenic mist, right? Oh, yeah, I think so. It was a long time ago. It was the... Oh, what game was that even? Oh, I don't remember. They took like a train somewhere, I think. And then they went to like some castle kind of thing. Something like that. I feel that I was so chuny as a kid. Man, I used to like wear... you know, the anime Chunibyo? Something... It has a really long name, but the one with the chuny girls... Actually, the protagonist also goes kind of chuny at the end because they like start dating and then they become this super cringe chuny couple that's actually kind of cute. Anyway, like they would always like wear little bandages around their arms and whatnot to be super edgy and cool. And I did that too! I feel like I was way cooler as a kid. I was fearless. I was like, I'm gonna be so cool. I'm gonna wear bandages around my arms and stuff like that. I'm gonna be so mysterious and cool. And I wanted to have like an ear, not ear, what the fuck? Eye patch? Yeah, ear patch, imagine. I was very cool. So mysterious. Yeah, that game is really good. I used to be, but got bullied too hard, so I stopped. I think I just kind of naturally grew out of it. I would like wear cosplays and stuff to school too, and you know, people would make fun of me, but I wouldn't really care. Even like teachers would ask me, why are you doing this when people are making fun of you? And I'm like, I don't know, man, it's just kind of fun. I like doing it. But then I just stopped naturally. I tried to fit in a little bit, but noticed that I couldn't really, and then I just kind of didn't care about most things anymore, and I was just kind of a shut-in at some point, but let's not talk about that. But then everything is fine now, and now I'm cringe on the internet. That's how things develop sometimes. Is that the trope you picked, or did the trope find you? I think it just kind of found me. I just kind of went along with it. I always wanted to be tsundere. Fair enough. I think I just wanted to be cool and edgy and mysterious as a kid. What did you cosplay at school? I wore my... I think my first cosplay was just like an Attack on Titan cosplay, man. I even, like, because my parents made me like attend church classes and whatnot, I actually wore my Attack on Titan cosplay to church and everything. That was kind of crazy. There's pictures with me wearing like anime school uniforms and whatnot. I don't even remember the cosplay anymore. And then, oh, my phone is overheating. This is really good. Yeah, you can look at me like this. Fuck. And I would also cosplay that pink-haired girl from, oh, what was her name? Midai something. Not Midai Nikki. That's not the anime name. The character's name was Midai. From Beyond the Boundaries, the English title. I'm sorry, Skip. It's not Gasai, you know. I'm sorry, it's not, you know. I wish. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna switch to my main phone. Does it just immediately work? Oh my god! Hold on. I have to change this. And I hope that my phone doesn't overheat too crazy. That'd be pretty sad. I'm gonna plug it in and hope for the best. Let's pray that this phone doesn't die, that the battery doesn't deteriorate. Okay. Kyokai no Kanata, exactly that one. That's the one. Attack on Titan is 2009. Did it come out that... I think I got into Attack on Titan by watching the anime, so I think it must have been a couple of years later. With the blood weapon, yes. I have to, hold on. Talking about being cringe. Hold on. I recently got new downstairs neighbors. And I was streaming with my window open and I just heard voices outside. We can't leak this. We can't leak this already. This is not okay. This is not okay. They can't know that I stream. I'm talking to myself in English. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Yeah, her name was Mirai. When I open up a YouTube playlist on your phone and drain all the power, how could you? They don't know I'm a VTuber. They shouldn't know that I'm a VTuber. They are not allowed to know. Anyway.
切れたとか言ってやたらめったら粗暴キャラに変身するやつが
Guys who say they've blown their top and suddenly turn into some overplayed violent character. Blown their top? What? Do they just like rip their top off? I don't understand. What does this mean? What does that mean? This could be if you read this like with a yaoi mindset, that first like the start to the sentence is kind of crazy. They've blown their top. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Why was that the first thing that came into my mind? Do they know? They don't understand half the conversation anyway. That's true. Germans don't really understand, or most Germans don't really understand English all that well, but I think they're younger, so they could understand. I think freaking out. Okay.
あれ本人はかっこいいと思ってるんだろうけど見てて痛いよな
I'll bet they think it's pretty cool, but it's painful to watch.
つまりおさらいするとだ
Let's sum this all up.
マリアくらいの年頃の女の子がさっきみたいな不気味な二重人格みたいなのを見せても
So you're saying that even if a girl about Maria's age shows a creepy second personality like she did a minute ago,
それほど珍しいものじゃないと言いたいのか
it isn't such a rare or unusual thing?
簡単にまとめるとそういうことだね。
Simply put, that's right.
アイデンティティは自己を形成するための大切なもの。
Identity is an important factor when building up one's sense of self.
それをバカにしたりすると、かえってその殻に閉じこもってしまうこともある。
If you make fun of it, it could actually cause children to go back into their shells.
だから、ほどほどに付き合ってあげるのが大切なんだよ。
So it's important to go along with them to some degree.
それを丸ごと受け入れてあげるのが、親の包容力というものなんだけどね。
Although the broad-mindedness of the parent determines whether they play along in full or not.
兄貴それで独身って信じられねえぜ
Aniki, I can't believe you're single. Why would you mention it? His girlfriend literally just died! Oh my god. Gotta clean up after blowing my top. That's crazy. Oh. What is that emo that you sent, Austin? What the fuck is that? I can't tell what that is. Yeah, that's fucked up. Choji is catching massive strays. This is so sad. He's single for an amazing reason. His girlfriend just died. That's awesome. Thank you, Batara.
もう子供が中学くらいに上がってそうな貫禄さ
You sound like you've already raised kids through middle school.
じゃあローザおばさんもあのマリアの二重人格についてはよく知っていたのかな
So, I wonder if Aunt Rosa also knew much about Maria's dual personality. I mean, they lived together, you would assume so. It's the emoji I said was my favorite that looks like a flush. I guess it's too new. It's just some... I don't know. It's like a white dot. His underage girlfriend just died. Important detail. Yeah, don't forget it. Don't forget the underage part. I like how he's like... You sound like you've already raised kids through middle school. Like, his fucking girlfriend was barely in middle school. Like, what are we talking about here? She knew about it. Just between us, Aunt Rosa really hated it. couldn't have guessed that.
気持ち悪いし、クラスでますます孤立を深めるだけだって。
She said it was unpleasant and that Maria was becoming increasingly isolated from the rest of the
だ
class.
から、マリアがオカルトの話を始めたり、魔女みたいな声で笑い出したりすると、必ずビンタしてたぜ。
So anytime Maria started talking about the occult or laughing like a witch, she'd slap her. And also when she went ooh, so basically Maria just loses out every time.
だからマリアも、ローザおばさんがいる時には、そういう話をしないようになったみたいだけど。
And it looks like Maria stopped talking that way in front of her. Maybe that thing back there was just a little game from a girl facing her growing period. Just a girl trying to show that she was different and independent by holding interest in witches and the occult. And since she wanted to be different from herself, young as she was switching between her normal personality and the personality of her ideal, a witch. At first, I'd found that very disturbing, but after being lectured by Joji Aniki, it felt like this was a path everyone was walked down at one time or another. I haven't told anyone, but when I was in kindergarten, I joined up with a little gang of kids trying to form an Earth Defense Force, saying we'd help protect peace on Earth. My face turns red when I remember how, during what we called battle practice, we would chant EDF! EDF! That's kind of cute. Yeah, I think the relationship between them is so fucked up that I'm kind of glad that one of them died, even though it was the wrong one that died. Blowing your top is like a pressurized vessel bursting, so they just like their t-shirt just what? I don't. Okay, so no, their power unleashed, something like that. That's such a weird saying. All these people gotta stop slapping kids. Yeah, just stop that. Stop that shit. You were all kids once. Stop slapping your kids. They might be annoying sometimes, but you gotta be understanding. Didn't know that EDF games existed in the 80s? I mean, what do you mean by games? I mean, they were just like pretending. Mentally blowing up? Top as lid? Guess so. Their power got too much. They couldn't hold it in anymore. It had to be unleashed. Just like usual, Maria was relaxing. Immersed in the TV, oohing and laughing, just like any girl her age. But on the inside, another personality, that of the ideal of which she respected and blindly accepted, was sleeping. But that wasn't anything extraordinary. It was perfectly natural for a girl of her age. She's normal. I've calmed down a little. The shock from my bizarre experience in the kitchen just now is fading away. If I hadn't talked to Aniki and Jishka, I might still be frightened by the idea that an invisible witch is standing right behind me. However, can I really accept that as an explanation for what happened back there? If it had just been Maria, I could have explained it as the fickle delusions of a growing girl, but Genji-san, Kanon-kun, and Kumasawa-ba-chan had also been there. None of them had denied what Maria said. They silently accepted that Beatrice exists. I was starting to feel a little uneasy. Aunt Eva's position was that no 19th person existed, that the crime was an inside job tied to the family quarrels. On the other hand, Aunt Natsuhi's position was that the culprit was hiding somewhere outside the mansion, so she rejected the possibility of an inside job and supported the idea that a 19th person existed. I mean, Natsuhi has been living here for, I'd assume, Jeshika's whole life or something like that. So, you know, maybe she has seen hints of Beato existing or whatever. There's an Earth Defense Force game series from JP that's decently well known. I didn't know that. I didn't even know the term, actually. I believe Beato exists. Batora might not believe, but I do. And in the kitchen, Maria and the servants had also supported the idea of a 19th person. But according to them, this 19th person isn't human. They said it was an invisible witch carrying out some mysterious plan. Is there a 19th person or not? And is the culprit human or a witch? So they say that a witch cannot be a human, then? Is a witch furniture? Is Kanon a witch too? For some reason, I couldn't just laugh off any of those possibilities. Not even the most ridiculous story about... Well, not even the most ridiculous story about the witch.
ジェシカ、ベアトリーチェの話ってのは、俺の認識では森に子供たちが迷い込まないようにってんで作った大人の脅し話だってことになってんだが。
Jishka, all I know about the story of the witch is that the adults made it up to keep the kids too scared to enter the forest.
この屋敷じゃ違うのか?
But is the story different here in the mansion? I really hope that we get to go into the forest at some point. I know it's like raining and there's like thunder outside and whatnot, but I kind of want to go there just to like see what it's like.
私もバトラと同じ意見だぜ。
I feel the same way you do, okay?
こんなのは子供に言うことを聞かせるために親が作った間抜けな怪談だと思ってる。
I think it was just a stupid ghost story that parents made up so their kids would listen to
で
them.
も、そうだと口にはできない空気が屋敷内にあることは否めないな。
But I can't deny that the atmosphere inside the mansion makes it a little hard to say it out loud.
おじい様がベアトリーチェは存在すると公言されているからね。
After all, grandfather has proclaimed that Beatrice exists.
使用人たちは立場上それを疑えないし。
And because of their position, the servants can't doubt that.
クラウスおじさんたちもおじい様と喧嘩がしたいわけもないから表向きは口を揃えてる。
Evil Uncle Klaus and Aunt Natsuhi don't want to get into a fight with him, so on the surface, they go along with it.
だから多分このお屋敷ではベアトリーチェの存在を疑うことはある種のタブーだと思うんだよ。
So it's probably fair to say that doubting the existence of Beatrice is taboo to those who live and work in this mansion. Doesn't really seem to affect Jeshka, so what is happening with her hair? It didn't look like this earlier, right? There's like color missing in her hair and everything. It's super sketchy. I never really paid attention to it, but it looks like... I don't know. I don't know if this is intended.
年に一度しか来ない僕たちと違ってね。
Unlike the rest of us who only come here once a year.
そうでしょ。
Is that right? Jeshka took a deep breath in admiration. It looked like Aniki had guessed right.
ジョージ兄さんの言う通りだぜ。
It's just like you
み
say.
んな腹の中じゃ信じてるわけじゃない。
No one really believes it on the
で
inside.
も、表向きはその存在を認めてる。
But on the outside, they accept that she exists. Oh, it's fixed now. It's all normal. Reminds me of Green Keiichi. Yep.
ほら、神様の存在を認めるような、そんな雰囲気だよ。
See, it's just like the way some people are about God.
実際にはいないことを知ってても、それを口に出して否定したら野暮みたいな空気だな。
Even if they know God doesn't exist, they feel like it'd be uncouth if they actually said it out loud.
使用人たちの間ではどういうことになってんだ?
How do you think the servants feel about it?
やっぱり雇い主のじい様がいるって言ってんだから、それに口調を合わせてるわけか?
Are they just going along with it because grandfather, their employer, says that she exists?
さあ、
I feel like in their case, it's a little bit more serious than that. Glorp Keiichi. Wasn't it like the Keiichi with the green eyes all of a sudden, like in some anime that they randomly appeared in? I forgot.
詳しくはわからないけど、
Well, I don't really know the
使
details.
用人たちの間では、ベアトリーチェの話はある種の怪談扱いになってるよ。
But between the servants, the story about Beatrice has been treated like a sort of ghost story.
ほら、昨日海岸でシャノンが話してくれたろ?
Remember yesterday? When Shannon was talking to us down by the beach?
夜見回りをしているとき、不気味な何かを見かけたとか、そういう話。
That story about how one night when she was doing the rounds in the mansion, she saw something unsettling? She did say something like that, didn't she? Back then I thought she was just being really nice to help improve Maria's mood, but it felt like she was serious when she said it. That's right, she definitely said it. She definitely said the same kind of thing that Genji and the rest had all unanimously declared back in the kitchen.
他にも、鬼火や 輝く蝶々が舞っているのを見たという使用人も。
In addition, some servants have also seen will-o'-the-wisps and glittering butterflies dancing
カノ
around.
ン君もそれらしいものを以前夜の見回りの時に見たことがあると言ってました。
Kanan-kun also saw something like that when he went patrolling one night.
あと最近ではお屋敷の中で深夜に不思議な足音をよく聞くと使用人の間で話題です。
And recently, you often hear servants talking about strange footsteps heard inside the mansion near midnight.
私たちは肖像画の中のベアトリーチェ様が姿を消してお屋敷の中を散歩しているんだろうと囁き合ってるんですよ。
We've whispered together that the Beatrice-sama in the portrait sometimes makes herself invisible and walks through the mansion. And I love her VA. Her voice is so soothing. The weird gacha anime, yeah, it was something I didn't recognize.
ずいぶん前ですが、私もそうかもしれない足音を夜の見回りの時に聞いたことがあります。
It happened a while ago, but even I have heard footsteps while patrolling at night that resemble these stories. That's right, she definitely said that. Exactly the same thing that I had been told just now.
でも怯えることはないんですよ。
But there's nothing to be afraid
ベア
of.
トリーチェ様は親方様とは異なるもう一人のお屋敷の主です。
Beatrice-sama is another ruler of this mansion, separate from the master.
だから変に怯えたりしないで敬意を持っていれば決して悪いことはしないのだそうです。
So there's no need to be unnaturally afraid. If you respect her, I hear she won't do anything bad. I'm sure that Shannon respected her, and look at what happened to her.
ただし敬意を持たないと恐ろしいんだったね。
I mean, maybe she chased after the butterflies that she saw. However, she can be quite terrifying if you don't respect her, right?
はい。
Correct.
私が勤めを始める直前に階段を転がり落ちて腰に負うベアトリーチェ様のことを悪く言っていたそうです。
I've heard that just before I began working here, someone who spoke badly about Beatrice-sama fell down the stairs and quit after receiving a large injury to their back.
だから使用人たちはベアトリーチェ様のお怒りに触れたのだろうと噂し合ったそうです。
Because of that, there was a rumor between the servants that Beatrice-sama's anger had been brought down upon this person. Hello, Butter. Happy weekend. Welcome in.
敬わないとお怒りに触れて怪我をする。
If you don't respect her, you'll suffer her wrath and get hurt. I feel like the not respecting her would go for everyone that died, except for Shannon, no? I feel like she would respect her.
つまり使用人たちにとってベアトリーチェって存在はお稲荷さんにいたずらしたらお狐様のたたりがあるってくらいには信憑性があるわけだ。
So to the servants, Beatrice's existence is just as credible as the story that if you pull pranks on Inari-san, you'll receive Kitsune-sama's curse. Of course, even though everyone accepts that curses and the likes don't exist in the modern era, people are still afraid and still have little respect for them. You often see it when in a residential area, someone is building a house and they call it a Shinto priest for a ceremony to honor the god of that plot of land. You might think that was just a waste of time and money, but it was said that if the workers don't do that, a big accident will occur, so they never neglect to do it. You also hear about if an Inari shrine is carelessly removed during a town replanning, there'd be a curse by Kitsune-sama. I think I might have read somewhere that when the occupying forces were trying to expand an airport, they tried to remove an Inari-san that was in the way, and the workers kept getting struck down by mysterious fevers. Even in modern cities like Tokyo, it wasn't rare to see modern buildings packed all around an old Inari shrine, leaving the shrine itself untouched. And this wasn't limited to Japan. It's probably similar to how foreigners baptize babies. If I remember right, by Christian doctrine, if unbaptized souls have even the slightest amount of sin, they will still go to hell. Putting water on a child's forehead doesn't do anything but make them cry. But if by doing just that, parents can prevent their children from going to hell, they will happily go through with that ceremony. In short, even in this modern society of reason, we were still unable to throw away every trace of disbelief and fear. You could even say that we accept certain sorts of supernatural things, though in a passive way. Maybe the only difference on this island is that Beatrice is the object of that worship.
じゃあつまり
They kept talking about Inari Shrine, but I don't actually know what that is. What does that mean? Sacred Shinto or Buddhist site dedicated to Inari Okami, Japanese deity of rice, agriculture, fertility, and general prosperity. They were talking about some sort of shrine missing from the landscape, right? Was that also an Inari shrine? Because, you know, if it was removed, it could explain, like, the whole people being cursed and whatnot. Little fox Kami. I mean, yeah, they were talking about Kitsune. So... Oh, okay, it says right here, foxes are not the gods themselves, but are considered the sacred messengers and guardians of Inari. So Inari apparently is the god itself, and the Kitsune, like, carry out the curses or whatnot? That's how I would understand it. So, in other words...
この島でとても人間技とは思えない何かが起こればそれはベアトリーチェの仕業だとなるわけか
If anything happens that doesn't seem explainable in human terms, it's called the work of Beatrice.
シャノンちゃんも言ってた気がするな
I think Shannon-chan said it herself.
ちゃんと閉めたはずの窓や扉や鍵がもう一度見回りに来たら開いていたとか
Windows and doors and locks that were tightly shut would be open the next time you went to check them.
消したはずの明かりがついていたりつけたはずの明かりが消えていたりとか
Lights that should have been on went out, and lights that should have been out were turned on.
で確かジェシカは朝出かけようとしたらカバンが見つからないのもベアトリーチェの仕業だってふざけてたんだよな
And if I remember, even Jishka was joking about it, saying it was also the work of Beatrice when she couldn't find her bag in the morning. Downhill F talks a lot about those shrines too. I really want to play that game soon. Soon. Oh, okay, ad break. I was just gonna take a break anyway, so let's take a 3-minute break right now. I'll be right back. Nyadi. Yeah, so far my main phone is doing better than my old phone, clearly. It's not getting as hot while it's like trekking and stuff. Oh, maybe I'll just have to switch, or maybe I'll just finally change out the battery. Like, my... Oh, God, sorry that I keep talking about my phone, but, like, my new phone has been, like, plugged in after it died earlier, like, I don't know, over half an hour ago, and it's still hot. The old phone is still hot. I don't understand how. It's been laying there, screen off, nothing open. It's still hot. So sad. Also, thank you for the hydrate. I did hydrate. I'm gonna drink one more sip. Thank you. Welcome back to you guys too. Hello, Zero. Oh, I should maybe wave.
よく覚えてるな。
Your memory is pretty good.
普通なら妖精さんが隠したとでも言うところが、この島ではベアトリーチェがになるってだけの話だぜ。
Normally you'd say some little imps took them, but on this island it's Beatrice.
ま、そんなくだらない話さ。
Well, that's all pretty stupid though.
このお屋敷も築30年くらいになるそうだからね。
This mansion has been standing for about 30 years by now, hasn't it?
それだけになれば、多少の怪談やオカルトは生まれてくるものだよ。
It's natural for things that old to get their fair share of ghost and occult stories.
学校の七不思議なんかのようにね。
Like the 7 mysteries at a school. I'm doing good. How are you, Zero?
そこで
But that's for I'll
チェス盤をひっくり返すぜ
spin the chessboard around. Let's go. Huh?
つまりこの島では人間にはできないことは ベアトリーチェの仕業と置き換えることができるルールがあるってわけだ。
Simply put, on this island there is a rule that Beatrice gets blamed for anything that couldn't have been done by humans. Man, this is almost like, Oyashiro-sama getting blamed for everything. Yeah, you remember Higurashi? It's kinda the same story. I wonder if Beato is also just like an innocent... I was gonna say little girl, but I think she's just a grown-ass woman. If she's just like a grown-ass woman that has all the blame put on her for some reason. I wonder. Maybe she's just a little wet little kitten out in the rain in a little box. Who knows? Roger stole his mother's catchphrase? Yeah. Her spirit lives on in Beato. In Beato? What? Batora! Jesus.
人間にはできないこと。
Things that humans
人
can't
間は
do.
何人だ？
How many humans are here?
18人だ。
18.
つまり犯人はこの島のルールにのっとってこの事件は魔女の仕業だとアピールしてることになる。
In other words, the corporate is using the rules of this island to make it look like a witch committed this
つま
crime.
りそれは19人目の仕業ですよと訴えたくて仕方がないわけだ。
Which proves that they desperately want us to think a 19th person did it.
気に入らねえぜ。
I don't like it. Why is it bold? Why is it in bold letters? I've been struggling to figure out what I'm in the mood to play. Umineko, of course. You should
全
play
然
Umineko.
気に入らね
I don't like it one bit.
気に入らないって何がだよ。
What do you mean you don't like it?
え。仮に不可視の19人目が存在してそいつが自分の存在をアピールしたいなら
Let's assume some invisible 19th person exists and wants people to know they exist.
俺ならもっと完璧なタイミングでやるぜ。
If it were me, I'd do it with even more perfect timing.
完璧なタイミングでってのはどういう意味だい？
He doesn't like it! Hello, Pika! Welcome in. Thank you for the raid. I hope you had a good stream. What were you guys up to? Hello, Just Morgan. Hello, Pika. We're playing, or rather, reading Umineko today. We're still in episode 1. Now that I think about it, I haven't made it out of episode 1 yet. I've been yapping too much to make big progress. I hope you had a good stream. I hope you can rest well after your stream. Relax a little bit, eat some food, sleep maybe. I know it must be pretty late for you.
あ
What do you mean perfect timing?
あ。だって事件は深夜から未明にかけて起こったの？
Well, the crime took place sometime between the middle of the night and dawn, right?
深夜まで話し合いをしてたり夜勤をしてたりあるいは部屋に帰って寝ていたり
We had some people who were talking together until the middle of the night, some people on night shifts, and some people who had returned to their rooms and were sleeping.
どいつもこいつもアリバイがあやふやで十分内部犯行が疑える段階だ。
Everyone's alibi is really vague, so there's plenty of room to suspect that the crime was an inside
ジョー
job.
ジの兄貴もエヴァおばさんに聞かされてるんだろ？
Joji Aniki, Aunt Eva probably told you too, right?
内部犯行の可能性が高いって話。
That there's a good chance this crime was an inside job? I mean, that possibility always exists. Umineko, hell yeah! Have you read this before? I'm assuming yes from your reaction. It's good, it's really good so far.
うん。まあね。
Yes, I guess. You
つまり
guess?
不可視の19人目が実在したなら最初の事件は自分のアピールに失敗してるんだ。
In other words, if this invisible 19th person really exists and wants to let us know it, this first crime was a complete failure.
いやそもそも時間帯がミステイクだ。
No, in the first place, they chose the wrong time of day to do it.
不可視の19人目をアピールするためには
If this invisible 19th person really wanted to show themselves,
死んだ6人以外の12人が全員白であることが確定している状況下で行われなければならない。
they had to make sure that the crime took place under conditions which proved that the remaining 12 people were all innocent. True, true. I don't see a flaw with that. Yeah, that makes sense. You know, because in that case, you could just assume that it was one of the people inside the mansion. There would be doubt for the existence of a 19th person. And if they wanted to make sure that people knew that they existed and that they were like trying to get attention and whatnot, they'd make it in a way that made it really obvious that they existed. Like, I don't know, kill a person right in front of everyone else, but, you know, there was no one there. No one could have killed them in that exact moment and stuff like that. I watched the anime and my friend from high school got me into the series. Oh, did you only watch the anime? Or did you consume more? How are you, Spooky? I hope things are going well for you. I'm doing good. I recently went to Dokomi and that was really fun. Had a good time. But yeah, I've been doing well. How about you? This red guy is truthing. He's doing crazy shit. Thank you for the posture check.
疑わしい人間がゼロにならなきゃ自分の存在をアピールできないんだよ。
I'm actually kind of surprised with how nicely he deducted that. That's actually something I didn't think about. Like, that makes sense. And I can't believe this is coming from Batara, the same guy who was talking about groping the maid and his cousin and his other cousin when she grows up. Yeah. As long as there's a single human we can suspect, this 19th person's attempt to highlight their presence
だ
fails.
から全員のアリバイが一番あやふやになる深夜の時間帯は
That's why near midnight, when everyone's alibis are at their Vegas.
19人目にとって自分が一番あやふやになる時間帯でもある
The 19th person's existence is also at its Vegas.
にもかかわらずその時間を選んで犯行に及んだ
And yet, the culprit chose to commit the crime at that time. Don't worry about it, Zero. That Yona, that emote is so good. That's every time he says something like that, that's how I feel. I really want to play this, but I have yet done it. But I really enjoyed the anime. I heard that the anime isn't really all that great at conveying the story. Also, it's unfinished, so I highly recommend it. It's really, really fun to read this. I cosplayed Jeshka before. Yeah, that's really nice. I saw one or two Umineko cosplays there. It was very cool.
そんな時間に犯行を起こせば18人の誰かが疑われるのは明白
By committing the crime, then one of the 18 would obviously be
に
suspected.
もかかわらずマリアに手紙を渡して魔女を名乗り誰もが自分でないと否定している
And yet, someone handed Maria the letter and called themselves a witch, even though everyone denies they did it.
つまりベアトリーチェという19人目がいるように見せかけたい人間が18人の中にいるとこう言いたいのかよ
In other words, you're trying to say that one of the 18 is trying to make it look like a 19th person called Beatrice exists. I don't really understand why they're assuming that Beato wanted to make her existence known. It doesn't really state that anywhere. I feel like she would have enough pride to not need to kill people to make it known that she exists. I feel like she has different ways of doing that, so that might not even have been... I feel like this doesn't really exclude the existence of a 19th person, or even more people, really, just because this specific murder doesn't really make sense in the way that Batara is making it seem. I don't know. I hope that makes sense. I feel like 19th person could still exist if they just had a different goal other than making their existence known, you know? They just started the fucking epitaph thing. They had to sacrifice 6 people. It was a given. It had to happen during a specific time frame.
なんだかぶっ飛んだ発想だな
That's a pretty crazy idea.
まだお袋の屋敷の外に不審者が潜んでいるって話の方が信憑性があるってもんだぜ。
I think Mom's theory about someone hiding outside the mansion is a bit more credible.
まさかバトラはこの客間の中に犯人がいると疑っているのかよ。
Batara, don't tell me you actually think someone in this room is the culprit.
あ
I do.
あ、何者かが俺たちにベアトリーチェが存在すると認めさせようとしている。
Someone's trying to force us to accept that Beatrice exists.
そうさ、昨夜のあの手紙からもう事件は始まっていたんだ。
That's right. This whole thing started as far back as the letter last night.
証拠も根拠も何もねえけどな。
I don't have any basis or proof.
チェス盤を逆さにした限りじゃ俺の見立てはこんなところだ。
But with the chessboard turned around, this is my best guess. I feel like this is playing right into the second line of the epitaph. You're just gonna have to suspect your whole family, and you're gonna tear apart the whole family. Not that there was much to leave intact anyway. I guess since she hates people who deny her, you'd assume she wants to affirm her existence. I guess so, but like, where did they hear that anyway? It's just a rumor, right? It could be that Beato is just a completely different person than what they're trying to make her seem like, you know? We had the same thing happen with Hanyu and Higurashi, you know, where she was just blamed for everything and she was made out to be this really awful god and whatnot, even though that wasn't her at all, you know? Beato could just be, I don't know, maybe she was, I don't know, taken advantage of from Kinzo, and she's actually just an innocent little meow meow. I don't know, maybe she's just really nice. There are a lot of things going on in my life, so I have been dealing with it. I wish you the best of luck, Pika. I hope everything goes well for you. As always, I wish you the best. Hope you can get it all sorted out. Little meow meow theory, basically. What if she actually did do it? Can't a woman just kill some rich people as a treat? Can't a rich woman just play with some rich idiots and make them all kill each other out of mistrust and whatever? She could just be silly. I support women's wrongs. I support Beato killing people.
飛びまくってるにも程があるぜ。
Seriously, that's too crazy.
妙な推理小説の読みすぎじゃねえのかよ。
You sure you haven't been reading too many weird detective novels?
でも無視できない着眼点もあるね。
However, it's an angle we can't ignore.
19人目がいるかいないかは別にしても、
Whether there is a 19th person or not,
その犯人は確実にこの島のルールにのっとって何かを仕掛けてきている。
the culprit's definitely planning something involving that rule about this island.
僕はね、今バトラ君の話を聞いていて少しだけ気持ち悪いことを思い出してたんだよ。
Just now, listening to Batara-kun talk, I remembered something that's a little disturbing.
気持ち悪いことって？
Something disturbing?
うん。
Yes.
覚えてるかい？
Do you remember?
ベアトリーチェの手紙。
Beatrice's letter.
ベアトリーチェは利子の回収を行うと言っていたね。
It said that Beatrice was going to collect interest.
そして利子とは後宮家のすべてだと言った。
And by interest, it mentioned everything of the Ushiromiya family. Yashika and I thought back on what Maria had read aloud the previous
言
night.
ってたぜ。
Yeah, it said that.
確かに言ってた。
It definitely said that.
そして利子の回収をこれから行うが、黄金の謎を解いたら、その権利を失うとも言ってたよな。
But the collection of the interest was gonna take place shortly, but if the riddle of that gold could be solved, she'd lose that right.
おじい様は黄金を授かり、後宮家を再興した。
Grandfather received the gold and rebuilt the Ushiromiya
つま
family.
り黄金を資本に生み出したものすべてが利子だってベアトリーチェは言っている。
In other words, according to Beatrice, everything created using the gold as capital counts as part of the interest.
つまり
Which means...
冗談きついぜ、兄貴。
It's pretty scary for a joke, Aniki. I mean, I guess that also includes people.
まさか後ろ宮家のすべて。
You don't mean everything of the Ushiromiya family.
つまりじい様が生み出したものすべてってことは、
In other words, everything that grandfather gave birth to.
じい様から血を分けた一族のことを指すってのかよ。
In other words, everyone with grandfather's blood flowing through their veins. But then they wouldn't have killed Shannon and Goda, right? I doubt he gave birth to these two as well.
あの手紙をそう読み解いたなら、
If you interpret the letter that
こ
way,
の殺人はベアトリーチェが行った正当な利子の回収ということになる。
these murders are just Beatrice legitimately collecting interest.
となれば、この事件はまだ続くよ。
If that's the case, these crimes will continue.
利子の回収はまだ途中なんだからね。
Because the collection of interest is still only halfway completed. Yoji turned around, looking over the parlor. There were still many people who held the name Ushiromiya. And because Goda-san and Chanan-chan had been killed, he knew that not even the servants were safe, despite lacking the Ushiromiya name. I guess just by association, they also deserve to die. I always forget Goda exists. He's not in the forefront of my mind either. Weird way to find out that Goda was actually Kinzo's son. I mean, I would assume that they're kind of the same age, but that'd be scary. They're furniture, and furniture is property. True. But Goda isn't property. He doesn't consider himself to be furniture. I don't think he was made to believe that. Just like Kuma-sama, I don't think she also doesn't have that kind of mindset. Hello, Taikai. Welcome in. Servants he bought from IKEA. Yeah, fucking went in there, got a shopping bag, put them all in. My favorite chair, my favorite desk lamp. Goda, his illegitimate son, maybe his husband. I feel like Kinzo would be the guy to have multiple wives, multiple husbands. So, are they planning to kill us all?
でもおかしいよ、ジョージ兄さん。
But that's weird, Jojini-san.
ならどうして6人だけ？
In that case, why only 6 people? Remember the epitaph, dear Jeshka.
他に大勢殺せたはず。
You should have been able to kill a lot more.
下手をすれば寝込みを襲って全員を一晩で殺すことも可能だったはず。
At worst, it would have been possible for them to assault everyone while they were sleeping and kill them in a single night.
どうしてそれをしなかったの？
Why didn't they do that?
特別条項だよ。
The special clause.
黄金の謎を暴く者が現れたら、利子の権利は失われる。
If someone manages to solve the riddle of the gold, their right to the interest will be lost.
そして手紙の最後にはこう結ばれていたはずだよ。
And remember how the letter ended.
おじい様の黄金の謎をみんなで解いてみろとね。
It challenged us all to solve the riddle of grandfather's gold.
ジーザス。
Jesus!
ようやく犯人のメッセージが分かってきたじゃねえか。
It looks like we're finally understanding the culprit's
つま
message.
り犯人は俺たちにじい様のあの碑文の謎を解いてみやがると言ってるわけだ。
In other words, the culprit's telling us to try and solve the riddle on that epitaph grandfather had made.
しかもぼやぼやしてればどんどん利子の回収を進めちまうつもりだ。
On top of that, they're saying that if we just sit around, they'll keep collecting the interest. I realize this is all based on several guesses that are way out there, but not everything that happens in this world fits together in a perfect line. Most of the events we don't understand are only individual points. By fitting them into a straight line, we're beginning to understand. And the points at either end of the line are really close, the line itself is more logical and easier to understand. And when those points are really far away, the opposite is true. It's the distance between these points that makes us say our guesses are way out there. However, if the distance we span are too narrow, that means our thinking will be narrow too. Is there a difference between making guesses and reasoning? Am I just using easily made guesses to try and force this crime into a pattern I can understand? No, that's not it. When you're lost in the dark and searching around with your hands, what you're doing is relying on your imagination and making guesses. Only imagination can find the points that need to be tied together. Reasoning is nothing more than the act of drawing lines between them. If you can't imagine, you can't reason. What I'm doing now might be way out there, but I'm sure it isn't a mistake either. Only the power of imagination can pull clues out from the darkness. And then I can use the power of reasoning to tie those clues together. It was a lot like the process of searching out an enemy's weak spot and striking. It's okay if I'm way out there. Way out there! Find a weak point first. Then we can think about how to strike. Right now is the time to find points we can tie together later. So it's basically Ryukishi telling me that it's okay to make wild guesses. I can make sense of everything later. Thank you for your permission, Ryukishi. I'll do my best. I feel like I should be taking notes and stuff like that so that I can keep track of all of my thoughts and all of the like little hints and clues that are given to us. But also, the description for the first episode was like, hey, you should just, you know, chill, take it easy, just let it happen, just let it play out. No need to go crazy on the thinking. So, I don't know. Maybe not necessary. Thank you for the hydrate. Only if your reasoning is up to the job. True? Hard difficulty, right? I think so. The 19th person is spooky. Yeah, it's the fucking... You see me in the corner over there? That's the fight. 19th person. That's me coming to kill you. For the time, I put aside whether a 19th person existed, and announced our theory that the goal of the culprit might have been to make us solve the riddle of the epitaph. Uncle Hideyoshi seemed to be extremely interested, but Aunt Natsuhi said it was ridiculous and dismissed it.
確かに
Of course.
そう考えるとあの怪しい手紙も納得がいくっていうもんや
If you think about it that way, even that letter from yesterday makes sense.
その動機はなかなかええ線をいっとると思うで
That motive seems to fit pretty well with the facts.
マリアちゃんに手紙を渡したのが誰かはさておきな
Setting aside whoever it was that gave Maria-chan the letter. She's not happy with that. She's like, dude, it's Beato. What do you mean? So spooky is 2 people on screen at the same time? Yeah, actually there's 20 people. Difficulty level is standard. You might as well at least start by taking the easy road. Is that what it said? I feel like the wording was slightly different, but yeah, same meaning, I suppose. I don't know, maybe I should be taking notes. Maybe. Oh. I feel like this is the type of visual novel that is fun to like try and deduct the mystery, but also, I'm also the kind of person to take it easy and just let things happen and try and figure it out as I go along with it, you know? I think that kind of going about it can also be fun, but I think Ryukishi kind of intends for people to guess along. I will do my best. I don't know if notes will be necessary, but I will do my best. Ooh, Beatrice exists! Even though she was puffing up her cheeks in that cute way she'd been doing since yesterday, I couldn't think of it as cute. If I poked fun at her, it might suddenly transform into a creepy laugh. She did get pretty creepy. Listening to your thoughts about stuff has been fun. I'll definitely keep doing that. I just haven't decided if I'll like take notes and stuff like that. I feel like maybe I can do without. Since I'm narrating out loud, I feel like it sticks in my mind a little bit longer than if I were to just keep it all inside, you know, and just playing it for myself.
隠し黄金など存在しません。
There is no hidden
で
gold.
すが、その存在を盲信する犯人がお父様の黄金を目当てで、
However, if the culprit is blindly sure of its existence,
それを私たちに解かせて横領を企んでいるという動機は、なるほどと頷けるものがあります。
and if they're trying to make us solve the riddle before snatching the gold away for themselves, then I will agree it makes sense. Kind of crazy for her to say that there is no hidden gold, knowing that she saw the gold bar that Klaus had like tracked down and knows of its existence. but whatever.
しかし、ならばなぜ後宮家の主要な人物ばかりを最初に殺したのです？
However, if that were the case, why would they start by killing those most highly ranked in the Ushiromiya family?
道理ですな。
I see your point.
謎を解かせるなら、金蔵さんに近しい人物を先に殺すことは得策ではないはずです。
They wanted to make us solve the riddle. Killing those closest to Kinzo-san doesn't sound like a good plan to me.
そうね。
That's true enough.
それにその論法で行くんだったら最初にお父様を脅迫した方が早くない？
If we're going with that argument, wouldn't it have been quicker to threaten father in the first place?
私たちに謎を解かせるよりも本人に答えを聞いた方が早いはずよ。
You'd think it'd be faster to just ask the person who wrote it rather than try to force us to solve it.
確かにその通りや。
You've got a point
も
there.
っともお父さんが並大抵の脅迫で口を割るとは思えんが。
Still, I think it'd take more than your average threat to make father spill the beans. I don't know if there is anything that I can imagine that would make Kinzo like actually give the solution away. He was like fully prepared to die and everything, even though I'm sure that he was hoping that he wouldn't die, but still, I don't know if there's anything that crazy guy wouldn't do to revive Beato. Actually, it makes me a bit sad that I know the answer already. It would have been fun to theorize. You just gotta wipe your memory. Just gotta forget all about it, and then you can experience the joy of Umineko again. If only it were so easy.
金蔵さんをよく知る方なら、金蔵さんが並大抵の脅しには屈しないことをよく存じているでしょう。
Anyone who knows Kinzo-san well would probably realize that he won't bow to ordinary threats.
これだけの財産を持つ後宮家を背負われる方です。
He's the man who bears responsibility for the Ushiromiya family and all its vast wealth.
今日まで様々な攻撃や脅迫にさらされてきました。
He's been exposed to many threats and attacks in the past.
それらすべてに打ち勝ってきたからこそ、今日の繁栄があるのです。
The family only prospers today because he was able to overcome all of them.
それに関しては私も同感だぜ。
That's freaking
う
right.
ちのじい様が脅されて何かに従うなんてちょっと想像もつかないぜ。
I can't even imagine our grandfather obeying someone because of a threat.
ジェシカ、言葉遣いがはしたないです。
Jeshka, watch your language. I knew this was coming. Forget about Umineko, no way in hell, but re-experiencing it. Didn't Beatrice's letter say that this whole thing is part of a deal Kinzo made, that if they find the gold, they'll avoid death or whatever? Yeah, they'll... basically, Beato will not have the right to collect the debt or something like that anymore, and they'll, you know, get the right to inherit everything, and they'll not have to die and stuff like that.
はい。
Yes, Mom.
なら、こういう発想はどうだろ
In that case, what about this idea?
う。いや、これもぶっ飛んでるか。
No, wait. Is this one also way out there? I couldn't hesitate. Out there ideas are like bows and arrows. It might be hard to hit with, but it's a great weapon, because it can hit enemies far away. They say most people who've died in battles were killed by arrow wounds. In a battle, you can't just shoot off one arrow. You can shoot a whole bunch of arrows at once, pushing forward towards the enemy troops with a wall of them. So keep shooting over and over. Create a wall as you push forwards towards the truth.
犯人が隠された黄金が狙いってんなら、俺たちに解かせるのは効率が悪い。
If the culprit is after the hidden gold, forcing us to solve the riddle wouldn't be very efficient for them.
謎を作った本人に答えを聞く方が手っ取り早いさ。
It'd be much quicker and easier to ask the person who made it in the first place.
じゃあさ、これはつまり。
In that case, the question
すべて
is...
じい様に当てたメッセージってことじゃないのか。
Is this all a message directed at grandfather? Is that possibly why he is missing? Rewatching with the knowledge is also so neat. So much stuff I forgot. True. I feel like I kind of want to play Higurashi again just to see like all the little hints that I missed. In other words, these murders were a threat made against grandfather. If he didn't tell the culprit where the gold was, his family members would have been killed off one by one. What if we weren't the only ones being forced to solve this riddle? What if grandfather was too? If you think about it that way, it explains grandfather's mysterious disappearance. If the culprit has already attacked grandfather, then judging by the state of the six corpses, the six corpses were left in, he should have been left in this place somewhere with that horrible makeup added. But despite that, we still haven't found him. So does that mean rather grandfather has been kidnapped and is being held somewhere? How could... You're insane. How could...
面白い話じゃない？
That sounds interesting.
つまり、お父様はどこかに監禁されていて、
So grandfather's being confined somewhere.
黄金のありかを話さないと、次々に殺人を繰り返すぞと
And the
脅され
corporate's
ているわ
saying
け。
we'll be killed off one by one if he doesn't tell them where the gold is.
その話のどこが面白いのか理解に苦しみます。
It pains me to imagine how you find that interesting. You gotta be careful, Eva. She has a rifle. Oh, but something is... I don't know. I don't think Kinzo would care that much if they were killed. I feel like he'd be like, serves them right, these vultures trying to get all of my money, everything that I worked so hard for, blah blah blah. Grandfather is frolicking in the rain without any knowledge of anything. He's just going for a nice little walk. On Natsuhi glared at her, but Aunt Eva just smiled calmly.
この時間になっても姿を現さない以上、おじい様が事件に巻き込まれているのはほぼ間違いないと思います。
Since we still haven't seen him after all this time, I think it's almost certain that grandfather's gotten caught up in the crime.
それを思えば、バトラ君の仮説も無視することはできないんじゃないですか。
If you think about it, you can't just ignore Batara-kun's theory, right?
ジョージは黙ってなさい。
Be quiet, Joji.
そもそもお父様っていついなくなったのかしら？
In the first place, when did father actually disappear? Wow. Poor Joji, I feel so bad for
お
him.
父さんの姿を見たのは誰や？
It's kind of funny. It's either the kids or the women in this family that get told to shut the fuck up. The women and children don't have any agency in this family. They're just told to shut up and listen. Who was the last person to see father?
多分私でしょう。
It was probably me.
今朝主人たちの姿が見えないと騒ぎになった時、お父様の書斎にいるかもしれないという話になり。
This morning, when we didn't know where my husband and the rest were, we discussed the possibility of them being in father's study.
私がお部屋にお伺いして、そこでご挨拶をしました。
And I went to check his room and greeted him there.
そういえば、書斎の鍵をずっと借りっぱなしですね。
Come to think of it, I've been holding the key to his study this whole time, haven't I?
源氏、これは返しておきます。
Genji, let me return this to you. On Natsuhi pulled out the gold key and handed it to Genji. Looking at the key, Aunt Eva giggled.
ねえ源氏さん。
Hey,
ど
Genji-san.
うせ警察はお父様の部屋も徹底的に捜査すると思うわ。
I'm sure the police will inspect father's room thoroughly.
何を隠していてもどうせ暴かれちゃう。
If there's anything hidden there, it'll just be exposed
だ
anyway.
ったらちょっと早く今この場で話してくれてもいいんじゃないかしら。
So maybe it'd be better if you just told us about it right here, right now. Told us about what? Joji's an adult who finished uni, as we're painfully aware. Yeah, they don't see him as such. Especially when it's your own parents, you know, they just see you as a little baby, always.
何のお話でしょうか？
What are you talking about?
シンプルな話よ。
It's simple.
お父様の書斎はその鍵がなければ外から入ることはできない密室よ。
Father's study is a closed room with no way in or out except for that key, right?
その定義の確認をしたいの。
I want to verify whether that's true.
お父様の部屋には入り口が一つある。
There's one entrance to father's study.
あとは窓？
What about the window?
他に出入り口は？
Any other entrances or exits?
ありません。
There are none.
中に入るには 入り口しかありません。
There's no way to get in except the entrance.
間違いなくね。
I mean, if he has a balcony, theoretically, you could always just like climb up there with a big enough or tall enough ladder and, you know, smash the windows in, whatnot. It could be possible. You're sure about that?
秘密の隠し扉なんかがあったりはしないのね。
There isn't some secret hidden door or anything.
お父様が不在である以上、後宮家の最高序列者は私よ。
Since father isn't here, I'm the highest ranked member of the Ushiromiya family.
その後宮家の当主代行として聞いているの。
I'm asking you as a representative of the Ushiromiya family head.
それを理解した上で答えなさい。
Remember that when you answer me.
あの部屋には入り口以外に他に出入り口は？
Are there any ways in or out of that room other than the main entrance?
お父様の最高の側近だったあなたは知っているはずよ。
As father's closest aide, I'm sure you would know. Onatsuya looked a little offended at the part about the highest ranked family member, but she kept her mouth closed for the time being and waited for Genji's answer. I couldn't help but feel a little uncomfortable. Why was she going on and on about hidden doors?
カノン君も熊沢さんも知ってるなら教えてくれない？
You too, Kanon-kun, Kumasawa-san. If you know, won't you tell me?
あるならあるって言ってくれた方がいいの。
If there is one, it'd be better if you said so.
じゃないと今からある人がとても追い詰められることになるわよ。
Otherwise, a certain person might be driven into a corner in a second.
隠し扉があると仮定されたら私の話はすべて水
Oh,
の
man.
泡。
If we assume that there is a hidden door, then my argument comes to nothing. Is she trying to pin this on Natsuhi because she was the only one with the key? Aunt Eva didn't specify which person was about to be driven into a corner. Oh, I have a good idea. But following the flow of the conversation, I had to feel that she was referring to Aunt Natsuhi. What? Couldn't possibly.
母さん、何の話？
Mother, what are you talking about?
ジョージは少し黙ってなさい。
Joji, stay quiet for a
ど
bit.
うなの？
What do you say?
ゲンジさん、
Genji-san,
カノン君、そして熊沢さん。
Kanon-kun, or Kumasawa-san.
隠し扉はあるの？
Is there a hidden door?
ないの？
Or not?
ゲンジさんはお父様が書斎を改造した時、施工業者の監督をしていたはず。
Genji-san, when you remodeled father's study, you must have overseen the construction.
知らないとは言わせないわよ。
I will let you say that you don't know.
そのようなものは親方様の書斎にはありません。
There is nothing like that in the master study.
間違いなく
You're sure?
片翼の場所を許されたカノン君。
What about Kanon-kun, the one who's allowed to wear the one-winged eagle? Genji's too!
はい、
That's right.
間違いなく
I'm sure.
親方様の書斎に隠し扉などありません。
There is no such hidden door in the master study.
熊沢さんは？
いえ、私も聞いたことがありませんよ。
No, I haven't heard of such a thing.
お父様と親交の深い南條先生は？
What about Dr. Nanjo? You've had a close relationship with father.
私もそんなものは聞いたことがありませんな。
I've never heard of something like that.
結構。
Very well
じゃあ
then.
いい？
So, are you ready?
話を始めるわよ。
Let me
とっ
begin.
てもシンプルな話なの。
It's very simple. Everyone tilted their head doubtfully, wondering what Aunt Eva was starting to talk about so proudly. Oh, they're gonna have a fight that will be recorded in history. Aunt Eva laughed triumphantly, as though she were about to reveal a secret only she knew.
お父様を最後に目撃したのは
Yeah, okay.
夏日姉さんよね。
Thank you for the pause for check. Natsuhi-ne-san was the last person to spot father, right?
詳しい時間は忘れちゃったけど、今朝の9時前くらいのことだと思ったわ。
I forget the exact time, but I think it was a little before 9 in the morning. Time to threaten the one with the gun? Hell yeah, it's time to get shot!
姉さん、覚えてる？
Ne-san, do you remember?
私、あなたがお父様の書斎からちょうど出てくるところに出くわしたわよね。
I ran into you just as you were coming out of father's study, right?
ええ、覚えています。
Yes, I remember.
それが何だというのですか？
What does that have to do with anything? I love this track. It's awesome.
そして次に姉さんがお父様の書斎を訪れたのは
And when was the next time you went to visit Father's study?
兄さんたちの遺体が見つかってからよね。
That was after we found the bodies of Nissan and the rest, right?
それを報告しに書斎に上がり、そこで私と一緒に不在を確認したわ。
Together with me, you went up to the study to report that, and we discovered that he wasn't there.
ところで姉さん、
By the way,
そ
Nissan,
の時お父様の書斎に入ろうとして気づいたことはなかったかしら？
at that time when you went to enter Father's study, did you notice anything? The song is silly and good. I kind of connected to Beato whenever this plays, because I think it played during the fishy aroma. It played during the letter reading and stuff, and when Maria was going a little crazy.
気づいたこと？
Notice
何の
anything?
ことですか？
What are you talking about?
ほら
Come on.
ゴミを拾ったでしょ。
You picked up some trash, right?
畳んだレシートを
A folded receipt.
確かにそんなゴミを拾った気がします。
I do seem to remember picking up some
それが
trash.
何か？
How is that relevant?
そのレシートは私が飛行場に着く前に寄った売店で飴玉を買った時にもらったものよ。
I got that receipt when I bought some candy at a store before arriving at the airport. Aneva pulled a small bag of candy out of her handbag.
ああ、あの時に買った飴のレシート。
What is she trying to say? Ah, the receipt from that candy you bought back there?
でも母さん、そのレシートの話が何と関係あるの？
But mother, what does that receipt have to do with anything? Shut the fuck up, Joji!
ジョージ、もうちょい黙って聞いとってや。
Joji, stay quiet and listen for just a bit longer. Uncle Hideyoshi's expression was a little strict. Apparently, he understood what Aunt Eva was getting at.
本当にこれは気まぐれよ。
Poor Joji, I feel so bad for him. It really was just a whim.
何かを予見してたとか、
I definitely didn't foresee
ま
anything.
してや夏日姉さんを罠にかけようとか、そんなのじゃ断じてないんだから。
Or try to set up a trap for Natsuhine-san or anything like that.
実はね、そのレシート、
Actually, about that receipt.
姉さんがお父様と最後に会って出てきて、そこで私と会ったでしょ？
Nei-san, you remember bumping into me right after the last time you saw father, right?
その時、書斎の扉に私が挟み込んだものなのよ。
At that time, I wedged this into the door to the study.
ってことはどういうことですか？
So, what does that mean?
つまり夏日おばさんがそのレシートを拾うまで誰もドアを開けていない。
Are you saying no one opened the door until Aunt Natsuhi picked up that receipt?
ちょっと待ってよ、エヴァおばさん。
Wait a second, Aunt Eva!
レシート挟むなんてバレバレだって。
Wedging a receipt in would be obvious.
小さまが外出した時に気づいて面白がってもう一回挟み直した可能性も。
It's possible that when grandfather opened the door, he noticed it, found it amusing, and stuck it back in the door. Honestly, he would do that. He would do that. Yashika hurriedly argued back. She still didn't really know what all this meant, but she realized that whatever it was, it would raise suspicion about her own mother.
もちろん、バレないようにレシートは小さく折りたたんだわ。
Of course, I folded the receipt up very small so that no one would notice
で
it.
もね、レシートが落ちるところを仮に見たとしても、扉のどこの高さの部分に挟み込んであったかは正確にはわかんないんじゃない？
But even if you assume that he saw it fall, he would have no way of knowing how high up the door it had been stuck, right?
私は夏日姉さんが鍵を取り出している間に確認したわ。
I checked it while Natsuhine-san was taking the key out.
レシートが挟み込まれた位置は寸分の1ミリの違いもなく私が挟んだ場所だった。
The receipt was still stuck not 1 millimeter away from where I put it.
なぜそんな子供じみたいたずらをされるのか理解できません。
I can't understand why you would pull such a childish prank.
大方、私の部屋の扉にいたずらをしたのもあなたでしょう。
I'll bet you were the one who did that prank on the door to my room too.
夏日さんの部屋の扉？
Door to your room?
不愉快な話だったので話しませんでしたが、
It was unpleasant to talk about, so I never mentioned
今朝
it.
目が覚めたら 扉の外側にあのシャッターの落書きと同じと思われる赤い塗料でいたずらがされていたのです。
But when I woke up this morning, there were the signs of some prank on the outside of my door with what was probably the same red paint that was scribbled across the shutter.
かきむしったような気持ちの悪い跡で
There were some unpleasant marks as though someone had been tearing at the door.
なんやその話。
Wait, what's this?
なんで今まで黙っとったんや。
Why do you keep quiet about this till now?
申し訳ありません。
Apologies. Since so many horrible things have occurred since then, I had completely forgotten about it until this moment.
知らないわよそんなの。
I don't know anything about that.
私がしてるのは姉さんの部屋じゃなくてお父様の部屋の扉の話よ。
I'm not talking about your door, but the door to Father's room, right?
姉さんがお父様がいるのを確認してから私と一緒に不在を確認するまでの間あの扉は一度も開かれてないのよ。
The time you confirmed that he was in his room and the time you confirmed that he wasn't, that door wasn't opened even once.
扉を使わずどうやってお父様は外に出たのかしら。
How did Father get out if he didn't use the door?
そんなことは知りません。
I don't know that.
私が知りたいくらいです。
That's what I want to know.
夏日姉さんの他にお父さんの在室を確認したのは誰や。
Natsuhine-san, other than you, who else checked to see whether Father was in his room?
ゆうべ金蔵さんとチェスをしたのがあった最後ですな。
Oh, so they're gonna say that she killed him or something and got rid of his body, and that he wasn't there to begin with this morning because no one else saw him? Really? Really? That's so stupid. I hate that. Girl did nothing wrong. Hello, Nue. Welcome in. Hope you're doing good. Hope your stream went well. Meow. Last night, the last time I met Kinzo-san was when we were playing
夕
chess.
食の直前までご一緒だったはずです。
So I was with him until just before dinner.
それより後の時間は誰かおらんのか。
Who saw him after that?
私です。
I did.
昨夜の晩餐のお世話をしております。
I gave him his dinner last night. I would like to believe that Genji spoon feeds Kinza when it's dinner time. My brain leaked out of my ears. I'm gone. What happened? Because of the heat? The game? The answer here is clear. Shoot Eva. She kind of deserves it. She kind of deserves it. What an odd headcanon, but it's a good one. I like it. I think my old man Yaoi is good. I think he gets on his lap. Agreed, agreed. Like a little, you know, we saw old man Kinzo kitten, you know, he gets on his lap like a little kitten and he says meow meow and he gets spoon fed by Genji. Here comes the airplane, Kinzo-sama. Woo! Say ah.
はい。僕とシャノンも一緒でした。
Yes, Shannon and I were with him.
ここまでは間違いなくお父さんも部屋
Write
に
it
いた
down,
よ
write it down. Where's my Kinzo X Genji fanfic, huh? Where's that? So, at that time, Father was still definitely in his room.
だがな、夏日姉さん。
However,
不在
Natsuhine-san,
だった書斎は窓も扉もすべて閉め切られた状態だったそうやないか。
when you found out he wasn't there, it looks like all ways in or out of the study were closed, right?
なのに夏日さんは今朝お父さんに会って話をした言うと。
But even so, you say you met with him this morning.
私には皆さんが何を契約になっているのかわか
Or
りません。
Nanjo. I don't understand why everyone has become so
どな
gloomy.
たか説明してくださいますかな。
Could someone please explain it to me?
父さんと母さんは
Father and mother.
夏日おばさんが今朝おじい様に会ったというのは
Are you saying that what Natsuhi says about meeting grandfather this morning
嘘だと言っているのかい。
was a lie? My girl Natsuhi would never lie. I trust her with my life. Good morning, Rebel. Welcome in. The longer I look at the OG sprites, the more I wonder, were these made in MS Paint? Maybe? Honestly, that would be impressive. I don't know. I feel like maybe Rukishi would have used like a proper drawing software, but you know, it kind of would have its own charm if these were made in MS Paint. That would have been pretty cool. But he would have had to layer stuff, no? Or maybe, is there like an airbrush in MS Paint? Because of like the glare on Joji's glasses too? I don't know. Like, how'll she lie about that? Mom's guiltless. Why would she lie?
ジェシカ、言葉遣いを直しなさいといつも言っています。
Jessica, I keep telling you to watch your language. Why is everyone being so mean to their children? Joji is told to shut the fuck up. Jessica is told to watch her language. They can't win. You can do great things in limited programs. Honestly, I've seen people draw some insane stuff in MS Paint. People are really good when they commit to it. All at once, the whole room was in an uproar. Aunt Eva and Aunt Natsuhi confronted each other across the parlor table, with Joji confronting Jessica. What the heck's going on?
複数の人間の目撃があるのは昨晩までよ。
Many people spotted him last night, right?
でも今朝以降、お父様の姿を見たと称するのは夏日姉さんただ一人。
But since this morning, the only one who claims to have seen father is Natsuhine-san.
そして私の挟んだレシートが物語る奇妙な事実。
And then there's that strange fact we learned from my receipt.
さあ、この点と点はどうやれば結べるのかしら。
So, how we can, what can I read anymore? How can we connect these points together? Holy shit, help me. I find it interesting that Eva is like so sure that this is like evidence against Natsuhi when she could be lying about putting in the receipt too. Umineko, the be mean to your children game ever. Why is everyone so mean to their children? I mean, yeah, so far no one has been really nice to their children. Kinzo has not even been nice to his own children, so... Eva is tripping for real, true. She deserves to be shot. Aunt Eva urged everyone to imagine it. Sure, that receipt could become an important point, but I didn't know which other points to tie it to or how. If we try searching for the answer Aunt Eva probably wants, we'll find that Aunt Natsuhi lied and acted as though grandfather was in the room this morning. Has that fact been exposed by a whim of Aunt Eva's? Natsui saw the receipt too, so it can't be a lie. True, I forgot. Yeah, she said that she picked it up, like the trash that it is. Hello, great. Hello, hi. Also, thank you, Mommy, for the rain. Welcome in, everyone. Hello, Mac Twist. Hello, Roatic. Hello, Vami. Hello, Blood. Hello, Shana. Hello, Drak. Welcome in. Hope you guys had a good time. Pinball Spire. I don't think I've ever seen that game, but I hope you had a good stream. Thank you for the raid. I'm doing good. How about you? We're currently reading some more Umineko. I don't know if you have ever read it. I'm still in episode 1, so I'm not very far into the novel, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Stuff's picking up, and it's going a little crazy. I finished Wind Waker and then played through a fun little pinball game. Oh, nice! I hope you enjoyed Wind Waker. I have yet to play it, but I heard good things about it only. But yeah, I hope you can rest well after your stream. I guess as a little recap, how do you recap what has happened? We're this rich family, yeah, we came to our yearly family meeting and there's legends of witches and whatnot and 10 metric tons of gold. 6 people got killed, which matches up with a little riddle they were given to inherit the 10 tons of gold and everything this family owns. And now they're trying to figure out who killed people, and they're suspecting each other, and everyone is tearing each other apart. It's kind of crazy. Family shenanigans, family love, right here. The model being up there is so cute. Thank you. I figured this would be the best way to not block the text and also not the characters. It's very neat. Maybe I should have put myself where the little sprite of myself is in the corner. That also would have worked now that I think about it, but it's okay. I don't get it at all. Why would mom have to lie? She had no reason to, right?
その理由は私も知りたいわよ。
That's what I want to know.
でもね、ジェシカちゃん。
But Jessica-chan...
お父様の材質を偽る価値が全くないとは限らないのよ。
You can't be sure she had no reason to lie and say that grandfather was in the room.
推理小説でもたまに出てくるでしょ。
After all, you see it in mystery novels every now and then.
生存時刻を偽ることによって自分のアリバイを偽証するトリックよ。
What trick where people fake the time of death to create an alibi for themselves? So Eva is assuming that Kinzo is dead. And I have a feeling that if we all went in the room to check on Kinzo, that he might be there dead, and then all the blame falls on Natsuhi. And then maybe the two people that are close, that get torn apart, are Jeshika and Natsuhi, even though they aren't really close, except for the fact that they're related. Yeah, you see where my brain is going with this? Biggest brain, thank you. Not my idea. Off to get food, have a great stream. Thank you! I hope your food tastes great and that you can relax well. Thank you for the lurk. What are you talking about? I've never heard of that.
お父様はまだ見つからないけれど、普通に考えればもう殺されていると考えるのが自然でしょうね。
We still haven't found father yet, but it's pretty natural to assume he's already been killed.
となれば、必ず近いうちに死体は見つかる。
If that's true, there's no doubt we'll find his corpse soon.
その時、死亡時刻をうまく偽ることができれば、夏日姉さんはアリバイを作ることができるのよ。
If, at that point, the time of death could be cleverly faked, Natsuhine-san would be able to create an alibi.
わかる？
Do you understand?
みんな？
Everyone. Damn it. He's gonna be dead. I swear. It's gonna be a closed room murder or something like that. Ugh. This morning when Aunt Natsu confirmed that grandfather was there, she lied. And he was already dead at that time? And then she moved the body to some other location and tampered with it so that when we find it, we'll think he was just killed a second ago. That would make it possible for her to create an alibi even just by staying with the rest of us. And she could say, I heard someone screaming. Dash over there and become the first to find the body along with everyone else. Is that what Aunt Eva's saying?
バカバカしい。
Ridiculous.
推理小説など、所詮は娯楽小説。
After all, detective novels are merely books for the purpose of entertainment.
そんなものばかり読んでいるから、そのような不謹慎な発想に至るのです。
You can only think of such an indiscreet idea because you read them all the time, you freak!
そうだぜ。
That's right.
死亡時刻を少しくらいごまかしたって、そんなの警察が検視すりゃ一発でバレるじゃねえかよ。
Even if she did try to fake the time of death a little, all that would be blown away in an instant once the police did their autopsy.
古典の世界だったらともかく、現代日本でそんなトリック本気で通用すると思ってんのかよ。
That might have worked in the past, but do you really think that kind of trick would work in modern Japan?
おかしいぜ。
It doesn't make sense. I like how they're like shitting on like mystery novels and like detective novels and like trying to commit a perfect crime by taking ideas from there, when that's exactly what Keiichi tried to do in Higurashi when he asked his mom what the perfect crime would be. I'm going crazy. Anyway, there's gonna be an ad break in like 5 seconds according to Twitch, so I'm gonna start it now. Actually, I can start it now. It's gonna start automatically. I'm just gonna take a break now and we'll see each other in 3-ish minutes, depending on when Twitch decides to start them. Be right back. I pressed the wrong thing. Hi. my phone is locked. Okay, there we go. I'm back. Adjust the game volume. I bet Natsuhi's a spicy romance reader secretly. I feel like she would be. You know what? That's actually a pretty good guess. You know, she's clearly not too happy, or wasn't too happy with her husband. I would assume that she was reading them and being like, you know, fantasizing about a better relationship, maybe. One that isn't just her being a borrowed womb, you know? Thank you. I'll come back to you too.
そうかしら。
You think so?
今朝、南條先生が亡くなった人たちの死体を見て、死亡時刻を曖昧に見積もられたわよ。
This morning when Dr. Nanjo looked at the corpses, he was only able to give a vague estimate of the time of death, right?
検視結果は環境や個体差に非常に左右されやすい。
Autopsy results are very easily affected by the environment and individual differences.
数時間単位で誤差の出る非常にアバウトなものなのよ。
That's a very relative estimate with an uncertainty of several hours. Also kind of funny that they talk about this, considering the fact that Takano's death in Higurashi was, you know, faked, and they performed an autopsy that was highly unreliable, that gave her the perfect alibi. Yeah. It just gets funnier and funnier the more we read this. Also, Nanjo said that he wasn't very good at what he was trying to do, so he doesn't have any experience, so of course he wouldn't be very good at it.
しかも困ったことに、警察の科学的な捜査は明日にならないとできない。
And unfortunately, the police's scientific investigation will have to wait until tomorrow.
そこまでの正確な死亡時刻を測ることなんて、ジェシカちゃんの言う現代日本でもそうそう簡単なことじゃないのよ。
It wouldn't be easy to measure the correct time of death so accurately, even in modern Japan.
ねえ、南條先生。
Isn't that right, Dr. Nanjo?
検視は経験と勘の必要な非常に難しい作業です。
Examining a corpse is an extremely difficult task that requires both experience and instinct.
誤診率も非常に高いと聞いております。
I have heard that there is a very high chance of a mistaken diagnosis.
確かにほんの数時間程度の誤差を出してしまうことは大いにあり得るでしょうな。
I imagine it is very possible for a misreading of just a few hours to occur.
しかしアリバイの世界は数時間もあれば十分やで。
However, for an alibi, that's more than enough.
古典のトリックとちゃう。
It's an old trick.
十分に通用するトリックなんや。
It's a trick that works well enough.
夏日姉さん、わしらあんたを疑いたいわけやないんやで。
Natsune-san, it's not like we want to suspect you, okay? He always says shit like this. Like, yeah, okay, what are you trying to do then? And in Eva's case, I'm pretty sure she wants to suspect Natsuhi
疑い
specifically.
とないから潔白を示してほしいだけなんや。
We just want you to prove your innocence so we don't have to suspect you.
何の潔白を示せというのですか
Did she pull out the fucking rifle? Go, girl, shoot them both. What is this innocence you want me to
今
prove?
朝私は確かにお父様にお会いしました
This morning I definitely met with father.
そして心の中に片翼のわしを刻めとお言葉をいただいて
He told me to keep the one-winged eagle engraved in my
あ
heart.
のお言葉をも否定するというのですか
Are you denying he said that too?
それだけは断じて許せません
I will certainly not permit
お
that.
父様がかけられた言葉までも否定することは断じて許せません
I won't let you deny that father said those words.
あるいはお父様の遺体は出てこないのかしら。
And of course, Natsuhi hits the roof. I mean, you know, I feel like she deserves to crash out a little bit. I mean, look what the fuck they're doing to her. They keep cornering her, her husband. Her husband is an ass. Her husband died. Shit is happening. She's allowed to fucking go off the handle, okay? Fly off the handle? That's the correct saying. Hello, Laika. Welcome in. Hope you're doing good. The eagle talk is so important to her. It's really important. I just find it really funny that she fucking pulls out the gun and everything. The fucking auto mod, yeah. Blow her top. Or maybe father's body won't appear anywhere.
通失踪は死亡宣告に7年かかるもの。
Normally, a person has to be missing for 7 years before they're officially dead.
余命残りわずかなお父様を7年も延命し、その財産を独占するにはなんともうまいやり方じゃない。
Wouldn't that be a clever way to extend father's nearly finished life another 7 years and keep all of his wealth for yourself? What? Yo! That's crazy! This is such a good CG! Oh my god! Yes, girl! Shoot her! Fucking let's go! Oh look, she even has like a little... Oh, what do you call this? Like a little crack in her toofies? That's so cool! In the TV, sorry! Let's go! I can't let you get away with saying that! I can't let you get away with saying any more! I am Ushiromiya Natsuhi!
この身に片翼のわしをまとう資格はなくとも胸の中にしかと刻まれています。
Although I do not have the right to wear the one-winged eagle on my body, it is certainly engraved on my heart.
当主跡継ぎのクラウスの妻としてその責務を代行する私に向かって何たる暴言。
What do you think you're saying to the wife of Klaus, successor to the head, and the one who will act as such in his place?
何?
Dude, I'm sorry, I have to remove myself from the situation. Give me a second. This, you gotta see the whole picture. I'm speaking through Umi Spooky right now, okay? This is me, okay? Just imagine I'm still here. You have to see this whole thing in its full glory. Actually, I can also just... I understand that I can also just do this. Fuck, here. I'll go here! What are you going to do? Shoot me! She's gonna defend against a gun with a fan? She could. I can see her doing that. What's this?
その銃で私を撃つの?
Are you gonna shoot me with that gun?
いいわよ。
Go ahead.
撃っちゃえば。
If only you just shoot.
どうせ言い逃れも思いつかなくて苦し紛れなんでしょ?
You're just desperate because you can't think of a way out, right? Wait, look at me, guys. I'm stuck between two beautiful women. They're fighting over me, guys. I can't believe this is happening. Yeah. I'm sorry. I had to do it. It was the perfect opportunity. Eva on pure aura. She's actually so cool. I love her. She's an asshole through and through, but I love her. Like it's Street Fighter 3. Let's go. Right where you want to be. Exactly. You get it.
やりなさいよ。暴力で真実をごまかしてごらんなさいよ。
Do it. Just try to obscure the truth with violence. No. Don't cry. You. It wasn't like Aunt Natsuhi had actually been holding that gun at ready and threatening anyone. As she was egged on by Aunt Eva, she did hold it at the ready. Unsurprisingly, once things got to this stage, Jeshika and Genji-san tried to stop her. Whoa, we even got a sprite for it? That's so cool! Look at that! We get the fucking pointing the gun sprite. That's so sick! Oh my god, she's trying to shoot me! Oh my god! I'm having way too much fun with this. This is so fucking funny. Oh. Sorry, I'm like... Oh god, I can't make her smile anymore. This is just... Hello? Did my keyboard die? I can't make it smaller! I'm just stuck like this. Oh, there we go. With the blicky? What's a blicky? Tsuki, duck! I'm ducking! She can't get me! The 19th person revealed. Oh, this is so good. I love this. I love that she gets a sprite where she just points at. That's awesome. I love it. Madam, please calm yourself.
母さんは は嘘なんかついてない。
Mom, you aren't lying.
ならこんなの聞き捨てなきゃ。
But there's no reason for you to listen to this.
落ち着いてえな、夏日姉さん。
Calm down, Natsui-san.
確かにお父さんは部屋にいたと誓ってくれればいいんやで。
All you've got to do is swear that father definitely was in that room.
それだけなのに、なんでそんなに取り乱しとるんや。
Why are you getting so worked up? Because your wife is an ass, dude.
それもそうです。
That is correct.
夏日さんは嘘をついていない。
Natsui-san isn't lying.
それだけのことじゃありませんか。
Shouldn't that be the end of it?
だから説明してほしいのよ。
Then I want you to
お
explain.
父様がどうやって部屋からいなくなったのか。
How did father manage to disappear from the room?
窓は内側からしっかり閉じられていた。
The window was closed tight from the inside.
扉も同じよ。
The same was true for the door, right?
今朝夏日姉さんが間違いなくお父様に会ったというなら、
This morning, if you really met with father,
夏日姉さんには開かぬ扉の密室からいかにしてお父様が部屋からいなくなったかを説明してもらわなくちゃ。
then you must explain how father disappeared from this unopenable door, closed room scenario. Here we go. The fucking closed room. We just had to do it. We had to. It was important. It's a staple. She's gonna dislocate her shoulder if she shoots like that. Don't worry. She can power through it. Hideyoshi is such a lackey. Like, he'll give Eva counter here and there, but usually he just goes along with whatever threat she makes to people. It's awful. He used his magic to turn into a fly and shoo away. Maybe he turned into a broom. You know, maybe he also turned into furniture. It would be the funniest thing ever if Kinzo walked by right now. He just enters through the main door and is like, "What's with the ruckus? What are you vultures talking about now?" I don't think he would do that. He probably will end up dead somewhere.
じゃないと姉さんが嘘つきってことにやっぱりなっちゃうものね。
If you don't, that mean you're lying after all, right?
あなたという人はどこまで私を愚弄すれば。
How far do you plan to mock me?
反論したいならぜひしなさいな。
If you want to argue back, go ahead.
そうね。今すぐこの場で釈明をしてみなさい。
That's right. Try explaining it right here, right
そ
now.
うしたらあなたを疑ったことを謝ってあげてもいいわ。
If you do, I'll apologize for suspecting you.
あの書斎の密室からお父様はいかにして抜け出したのか。
How did father manage to get out from that closed room?
そんなこと説明もできませんし、不
I
要
cannot
です。
explain, and there's no need for me to do so.
そう。
Really?
なら私が説明してあげるわよ。
Then let me explain
私
it.
の立場も姉さんの立場もいいとこ取りのとても仲良しな説明なんだから。
Just take the best parts from my perspective and yours and come up with a more friendly explanation. I love how she talks. She's like gaslighting her so hard right now. If your beautiful wife told you to get on all fours, wouldn't you? That is Hideyoshi to Eva, in my opinion. You know, I get it. You know what? I would. I understand him. Still, stop her! You can't be mean to Natsuhi. I love her too much. Natsuhi, you only need to confirm you saw him, then she pushes further. Yeah, it's not like she'll get away with just being like, "Oh, I definitely saw him, guys. Trust me. The source is me." It's not like Eva will be like, "Oh yeah, sure." That won't happen, you know it. He made like a cat and became liquid. Yeah, he just fucking went through the door crack at the bottom. That's all. Sometimes the winning move is to not play with trolls. Yeah. Natsumi's not doing herself a favor by like flying off the handle and holding her at gunpoint right now, but also she kind of deserves it.
姉さんの言う今朝の時点でお父様が在室していたことを信じてあげるわよ。
I believe what you said about father still being in his room this
で
morning.
も次に扉が開かれた時にお父様はいなかった。
However, the next time the door was opened, father wasn't
こ
there.
こまでは依存ないわよね。
You're shouldn't have any objections so far, right? Honestly, Kenzo is that type of guy that I could see still having like a secret door or some secret exit of some sort just to mess with them and not tell anyone about. Like this guy 100% has like a hidden door or something that no one knows anything about.
あなたの言うことにこれ以上耳を傾ける気はありません。
I have no desire to hear anything more you have to say.
その軽薄な口を慎めなさい。
Shut your frivolous mouth.
私の推理はこうよ。
My reasoning goes like this, okay?
扉から姉さんしか出入りしていないことは私が2回確認している。
I can confirm that on both occasions you were the only one to go through that door.
そしてレシートもそれを立証している。
And the receipt proves it.
にもかかわらずお父様を部屋から出すパズルの答えは
So what's the answer to the puzzle of how father left the room?
窓よ。
The window.
窓から出したのよ。
You were sent out the window.
夏日姉さんはお父様を3階の書斎の窓から中庭に突き落としたのよ。
Oh my god! Holy shit! I cannot replicate that scream. I'm sorry. Natsune-san, you threw father out of the third-story window of the study into the courtyard! They're really going at it. You. Man, this is so good. Kenji knows, and he's debating whether to confess or not. He's like, I mean, I'm kind of curious how this is gonna play out. I love the diagrams they throw in there sometimes. Send her to the afterlife. Kill her!
奥様、来ないでください。
Madam, please, endure it.
エヴァ様、どうかおやめくださいませ。
Eva-sama, please stop this.
その後中庭に転落して死んだお父様の遺体は
After that, when you left and said you were going to check the doors and windows,
夏日姉さんが屋敷内の戸締まりを確認すると言って出て行った時にどこかへ隠したのよ。
you took father's corpse, which had fallen in the courtyard, and hid it.
多分その時に死亡時刻を偽る工作もしたんでしょうね。
That was probably when you took some measures to fake the time of death, right?
クラウス兄さんたちの事件もさらに
He's just like,
の
yeah.
ベアトリーチェの事件もひっくるめて
Whatever wifey says. Usually he like does not want her to go so crazy and like to go hard at Natsuhi, but this time he's all in. He's like, yeah, let's go, wife. Let's beat her up. Eva's having the time of her life. She's having fun. You know she's... Yeah, that checks out. Her reasoning does make perfect sense. No, it does not. It does not. Kinzo is the one to mess with them. He's messing with them. This ties in with the case regarding Class Nissan and the rest, and also the case regarding Beatrice last
ナシ
night.
さんが怪しい可能性が非常に高いっちゅうことだ。
There's a really good chance we've got reason to suspect Natsuhi-san in all those cases. Natsuhi? Killing 6 people? 7? Sorry, wrong button. All of these people by herself. I don't think so, man. I don't think so. Not that she couldn't, but I don't see it. She's so sweet.
本当ならこんなことを言いたくはない。
Normally, I wouldn't want to say this.
だがもうぶちまけてしまったからには仕方がない。
But now that it's out in the open, there's nothing else I can do.
頼むわ、夏希姉さん。
Please, Natsuhine-san.
どうか自分の無実を説明してくれんか。
Please explain how you can be innocent.
侍とわしはあんたを疑わなきゃならんのや。
Otherwise, I can't help but suspect you.
なぜこの私が
Why me?
この私が後宮夏日がこのような恥ずかしめを
Why must I, Ushiromiya Natsuhi, be insulted like this? Looks like we've got everyone's views on record now. What is this transition? Hello? The moment was so tense. And Batra just goes, "Ehehehe." Incredible. Knowing Kinzo, he got pissed because everyone was screaming about their dead loved ones like they've never lost anyone before and ran off for some quiet time. 100%, man. How would a skinny woman like Natsu even throw Kinzo out the window? Like, yeah, I mean, I get that Kinzo is like an old, sick old guy. I get it, but like still, he weighs a bit. You know? And also, like, the fact that they want to fucking suspect her for killing 6 other people. Like, dude. When they know those people were not killed in the shed, they must have been carried off. Like, either she had some help or, like, she's freaking Wonder Woman carrying 6 dead people. Like, she must be insane. She must be a witch. Burn her. Burn her at the stake. An unresponsive human is even harder to do, though. Yeah. Man, I don't even know anymore. Stealth build. And she's insane! Witch! Burn her! Hello, Shishio. Hi. I was assuming the servants helped Natsu. I mean, I guess so, but still. Why would they help kill 2 other servants? Like, this is an old guy, this is a child, and this is an old woman. Like, hello? Do we see the pattern? Batra has no parents to shut him up. True. As sick and twisted as it is, he can just say whatever he wants. He has no parents to tell him to shut the fuck up.
ダメだな。全然ダメだぜ。
It's useless. It's all useless.
Eva おばさん。
Oh, Neva. You keep saying this.
ダメって何がだよ、バトラ。
What do you mean, useless? Yashka looked up at me, hanging on to my every word. Oneva's expression was confident as ever.
全然ダメって何が？
Useless, you say? What is?
バトラ君。
バトラ君。
聞かせてよ。
Tell me.
一方からしか見られないから、夏日おばさんしかありえないって思い込んじまうのさ。
You're only convinced it was all Natsuhi because you're only looking at the case from a single angle.
別に夏日おばさんを擁護するわけじゃねえが、そんなハッタリのチェックメイトじゃ通用しねえってことさ。
It's not like I'm defending her, but the bluff of a checkmate isn't gonna fly.
レシートを軸にした推理はまずまずだとは思う。
I think your reasoning regarding that receipt was passable.
筋は悪くない。
It's not a bad thread of logic.
だが、俺の採点じゃせいぜい65点ってとこだ。
But I'd only give it a grade of 65 at best.
これが答案なら、居残りで補習ってとこだぜ。
If this were an exam, that'd be bad enough to get your extra lessons in attention, right? You're so silly. Just get to the point, Batara.
あら、じゃあレシートで封印されている扉をどうやって破ってお父様を失踪させられるというの？私の説以外に。
Batara gets to speak what Joji doesn't. He gets to. He gets the pass. Batara C's get degree. 65 is enough. I mean, he did say that he was kind of bad in school, so he must know. He must know the detention. He went to lots of the detention time. Oh my. Well, how do you think anyone could break through the door sealed by my receipt and make father disappear, other than by my theory?
エヴァおばさんの説は確かに面白い。
It's true that your theory is an interesting one.
そして、その説以外に、じい様が失踪できる方法がないって言い切れるなら。
And if you could say for sure that there was no way to make grandfather disappear,
最終目撃者である夏日おばさんが黒であると確かに言い切れるだろう。
then you probably would be able to prove that the last person to see him, Aunt Natsuhi, was guilty.
だが、夏日おばさんが無実で濡れ衣である可能性が残っている以上、そうだと断言することはできねえ。
However, since there still is a possibility she's innocent and these accusations are false, we can't be sure about that.
ならバトラ君は夏日姉さん以外の誰にお父様を失踪させられたというの？
Then Batara-kun, are you saying someone other than Natsuhine-san made grandfather disappear?
姉さんしかありえないのよ。
It'd be impossible for anyone else to do it.
私のレシートがそれを証明してしまったわ。
My receipt proved that, right?
一度目に書斎に訪れた夏日姉さん。
After the first time she visited that study.
そして2度目に私と訪れるまでの間、書斎は完全に密室で密室開封後には失踪している。
And until the second time when we visited it together, the study was a perfect closed room, and when the seal was broken on the closed room, he was already missing.
これで夏日姉さんが犯人じゃないというなら、どんなトリックがあるっていうの？
If that doesn't prove she's the culprit, what kind of trick could they have used?
だから65点なんだよ、エヴァおばさん。
Like I said, on Eva, only 65 points.
じゃあここでチェス盤をひっくり返すぜ。
So, let's try spinning the chessboard around, shall we? He'll keep saying it. He'll keep saying it. Yeah, he's speaking from experience.
どうやって外部からじい様を失踪させるかじゃない。
The question isn't how someone managed to make grandfather disappear from the outside.
どうやって内部からじい様が失踪するかって考えるんだ。
We should think about how grandfather disappeared from the inside.
扉にはレシートが挟まれていたから使用されていない。
The door had the receipt stuck in it, so it couldn't have been
窓
used.
も出ることはできても外側からは施錠できず、しかもエヴァおばさんは書斎を訪れた時に窓の施錠を確認している。
He also couldn't have gone through the window because you can't lock it from the outside, and when Aunt Eva visited the study, she checked to make sure it was locked.
だから窓も使用されていない。
So the window also wasn't
その
used.
時点では確かに書斎は密室だった。
Okay, I get it, I get it. At that point, the study really was a closed
これ
room.
は認めるしかない。
We have to accept this.
だがしかし書斎は永遠に密室だったわけじゃない。
However, the study didn't remain a closed room forever.
レシートの封印さえ解かれれば扉は使用可能になり脱出可能になる。
Once the seal created by the receipt was removed, it'd be possible for someone to escape by the door.
つまり夏日おばさんがどうやってじい様を失踪させたかじゃない。
In other words, the question isn't how Aunt Natsuhi made grandfather disappear.
どうやってじい様は書斎を脱出したのかって考えるんだよ。
We need to think about how he was able to escape. It's kind of funny that Batara, the person who knows Kinzo the least out of all the people here, kind of knows that he'd be capable of just sneaking out and, you know, basically driving them crazy like this. I'm sure this is also his like end goal, to drive them insane. Grandpa's escaped again. Catch him. He really is like a stray cat.
じい様の書斎はただの書斎じゃねえんだよな。
Grandfather's study isn't an ordinary study, right?
源氏さんの話じゃトイレからキッチン、ベッドルームまであるちょいとした家並みじゃねえか。
According to Genji-san, there's a toilet and a kitchen and even a bedroom, almost like a little house.
例えばベッドの下にでも潜って隠れたらおばさんたちは部屋からいなくなったと思い込めるぜ。
For example, what if he was hiding under the bed and the two of you only thought he was missing? He really is like a cat. Grania. What if Kinzo killed 6 people and disappeared? He would do something like that. He would.
エヴァおばさんもそこまで調べてきたわけじゃねえだろ。
Aunt Eva, even you didn't check that far, right?
そしておばさんたちは失踪したと思い階下へ戻る。
And then the two of you went back down the stairs thinking he wasn't there.
この時レシートはもうない。
At that time, the receipt was already
つ
gone.
まりじい様は密室である間は部屋に隠れ続け、
In other words, if grandfather was hiding in his room the whole time it was a closed
エヴァお
room,
ばさんたちをやり過ごした後に部屋から脱出することでこの密室を破ることができる。
and escaped after letting the two of you go past him, we can crack this closed room right open. Actually
何
smart.
よそれ。
Pretty good angle to look at this. Pretty good. Batsura has some brain. Maybe Kinzo's in the room with them right now. Maybe he's a potted plant somewhere in the corner. Who knows? But what are you talking
ど
about?
うしてお父様がそんな妙なことをして部屋を抜け出さなきゃならないの？
Why would father need to escape the room in such a bizarre fashion?
口頭無形にも程があるわよ。
Don't be so absurd. Have you met the man?
ああ、口頭無形かもな。
Yeah, it might be absurd.
だがそれでも夏日おばさんが濡れ衣かもしれない可能性は示してる。
However, it still shows that there is a possibility on Natsuhi is being falsely accused.
エヴァおばさんのレシートは完璧じゃね
Your receipt wasn't
え。
perfect.
チェスで言えばチェックくらいにはなったろ。
In chess, we might call that check,
だがチェックメイトじゃね
but it isn't checkmate.
え。そして俺が最高に気に入らねえのは
Kinzo was hiding under the bed. He's still there. Who knows? But the thing that really pisses me off
それを夏日おばさんに釈明しろと迫って、それができなきゃ黒だって断定しようとしたエヴァおばさんのその論法さ。
is how you're pressuring Aunt Natsuhi to explain it, then claiming that she must be guilty if she doesn't.
それがまかり通るってんなら、こ
If you
の
wanna go
後
down
ろ
that
宮バ
road,
トラ、
then why don't you let me?
ここでもう一回チェス盤をひっくり返させてもらおうじゃねえか。
Ushiromiya Batara, spin the chessboard around one more time! This is insane. They're all aura farming. Look at this! Is he part of fucking the Ace Attorney games? What's happening? I'm imagining the 100-line under bed screenshot. It's like Ato hidden under the bed. That's crazy. Kinzo's hiding under the bed in the closet behind the curtain. Man, sure loves to hide. Yeah. He was on the ceiling like a spider. Are you starting to like Batara? I love Batara, man. He's awesome. He's great. There's so many good fucking CGs in this one episode. So many cool like moments. I love this. He's very similar to Phoenix, right? Yeah. Spinzo Spider Kinzo. Let's go. He was bitten by a spider, then he turned into Spider-Man. It's obvious.
エヴァおばさん、あんたの論法によるならよ。
Aunt Eva, according to your own
あん
arguments,
たと秀吉おじさんが昨日親父たち6人を殺害してからのこのことゲストハウスに帰ったんじゃないってことをこの場で釈明してもらわなくちゃならねえぜ。
Aunt Eva, according to your own argument, you must explain to us why you and Uncle Hideyoshi couldn't have killed those 6 last night and then casually returned to the guest house.
夏日おばさんに釈明を強いたんだ。
You've been trying to force Aunt Natsuhi to
あん
explain.
たにはもちろん自身の潔白を釈明できるんだろうな。
So I'm sure you can prove your own innocence, right?
じいさまの遺産が全部転がり込むエヴァおばさんよ。
Especially now that all of grandfather's wealth has suddenly plopped down right into your hands.
そうだぜ。エヴァおばさんだって十分怪しいじゃねえかよ。
That's right. You're suspicious enough yourself, aren't you?
母さんがじいさまの最終目撃者だから怪しいって言うなら、
If you say mom's suspicious because she was the last person to see
エヴ
him,
ァおばさんだって父さんたちの最終目撃者じゃないか。
what about you, Aunt Eva, the last person to see Dad and the
バ
rest?
トラの言う通りだぜ。自分たちは殺してないってことを証明してみせろよ。
Just like Batora said, prove that you two weren't the ones who killed them.
僕もお母さんの推理は少し勇み足だと思うな。
Mother, I also think your reasoning was a little overeager. This is the comeback for all the shut up Joji. But also, this is oh, wait, wrong. This? Those who remain shall tear apart the two who are close. I'm starting to think it might really be these two. They're now all ganging up on them. I mean, she's the only one who didn't lose a spouse or a child. Yeah. She got away clean.
レシートの件は確かに重要なヒントだと思う。
I'm sure the receipt was an important hint.
でもそれはバトラ君の言う通り、夏日おばさんが何がしかの犯人であることを断定できるものじゃない。
But, like Batora said, that's not enough to prove Aunt Natsuhi was responsible for some
僕
plot.
たちは等しく全員が容疑者なんだ。
We're all equally suspicious.
夏日おばさんだけが責められる道理はない。
It's not right for only Aunt Natsuhi to be persecuted.
誇り高きお父様が床に這いつくばってベッドの下に
Our proud father crawling under his bed.
そんなざれ言で説明がつくと思って
You call nonsense like that an explanation. I can see it. Kinzo can be silly if he wants to.
それならエヴァおばさんが先に説明しろよ。
In that case, why don't you explain first?
特任を誰がどうやって殺して、そして自分が関わっていないという証拠を示してみろってんだ。
Who killed those 6 and how? And then try showing us proof that you weren't involved. She okay? Dude, someone get us some water. Hello? She drank too much green liquid.
お嬢様、お嬢様。
Man, what's happening? Okay, but I think this is a good scene change to end the stream. Oh my god, it's like a cliffhanger. What will happen to Jeshka? Will she die? Will she survive? We'll find out on Sunday. No, I'm sorry. We reached 4 hours. My voice is starting to, or my throat rather, is starting to hurt a little bit. I'm sorry. But I think this is a good scene switch to stop. Since they usually go for quite a long time. Yeah, let me see. Who can I raid today? I feel so evil for deciding to end it here. I'm really so sorry. I feel really evil. You know what? Skip streaming. He's playing Ready or Not with Ichi and RD. We're gonna read her. Yeah. Tune in on Sunday. I'm so sorry. I apologize. I apologize for the cliffhanger. I'm so sorry. It always just so happens to fall into the moment where I want to like stop the stream anyway. I'm sorry. Blame Ryukishi. Not me. I didn't choose this. Anyway, thank you for being here. Again, I'll be on Kobe's collab event tomorrow, so please check it out. I will probably not stream, but it's uncertain still. But I'll continue playing Umineko on Sunday. Maybe, if I'm feeling up to it, I might do like a surprise Umineko stream tomorrow before the collab. I don't know. I haven't decided. I don't know if I want to ruin my voice before. Anyway, we'll see. Maybe a short one to finish a little bit of this part that we're on right now. And thank you for being here. Fita, Costco, Amadas, Trace, Lark, Austin, Iviona. Did I say Trace already? Trace! Noah, thank you for being here. Take care and have a lovely weekend. Bye-bye!